Welcome to the Smiling Sufferer podcast. On the mic, you have Corey.
Hi, guys. It's Yeti. Or Yetune. Whatever.
And it's your favorite boy, G. I can't hear myself, please increase my volume.
I can hear you. You increase your volume.
Myself. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I think I got some static.
Okay, I can hear myself now.
Hey, guys. How's it going now? How's your week going?
Oh, it's good.
Good?
No complaints, yeah.
Wale? Mr. G?
Weekend just started, though.
No, I said your week.
Oh, week. It was alright.
Okay.
Could be better.
Did you watch the Chelsea Man U game?
Yeah, some people were lucky to get a draw.
Lucky? Nah, I don't know about lucky.
Oh, wait. You're all Chelsea. I just noticed.
Yeah,
you're all Chelsea
if you
out.
can't see, let me describe.
Chelsea hat.
First of all, he's wearing like a dad hat, like Chelsea
Seriously.
hat. And then he has this sweater that you know he probably got like 5-6 years ago. It says Chelsea on the hoodie.
You got jokes.
And then he has some Yeezys on. I'm kind of suspecting. Looks fake though. Let
It
you
looks
judge.
like such a white
jokes.
dad. For
Yeah,
real,
he
for
does,
real.
yeah.
That's not how you wear the Yeezys, Corey.
How do you wear the
I
Yeezys?
gotta teach
Not
you how
like
to
that.
dress, my nigga.
So what am I
for
supposed to
sure.
wear them on?
I don't even know. But
By the
not
way, they're
this.
very comfortable. I feel like I'm floating on
gosh.
air.
Like imagine how comfortable the real ones are.
You got jokes.
And is it supposed to be like yellow, like white, like this? It looks.
It's off-white, Yeti.
All right.
Off-white.
It looks like you've been in some Uganda dust, like where he took give those kids.
Yeah, were you one of those kids?
I've been through some
Did you go there to
Niger
get-
dust or something. What's going on?
All right, so let's get right into it, man. Well, first of all, do you guys have any topics that you wanted to throw out there
No.
before I get into it?
Go ahead.
All right, because I'm going to get right into it.
Okay, we've heard you. Go
So
ahead.
last week, right?
Uh-huh.
I know we had this debate where we were discussing police brutality, and there were some comments that were made that I wasn't really able to respond to. And I figured, okay, because Wale had mentioned something about some lady in in New York who got her ass, who accused some 9-year-old kid of grabbing her ass and ended up calling the cops. It was a very, very silly instance.
She was the silly one, right?
No, she was.
Yeah.
She was. But I wanted us to kind of like, because I've noticed what people do is they see these 2-minute clips and they rush to judgment. I'm not saying she didn't do anything wrong, but I feel like sometimes we need to build, if we're going to bring things like this to the court of public opinion, I feel like the least you can do is have some level of due process. So that's why I wanted to kind of go through
Due
some
process and
Yeah.
public opinion.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
No, I think
Corey.
it's, you know why? Because
There's no such thing.
people wind up losing their jobs. People's lives end up getting destroyed
So
as a
then
result
don't
of
do
the public
things
outcry.
that will get you to lose your job.
No, but
like
then
this lady that called the cops on this little boy.
Okay.
Why would you even call a cop on a 9-year-old kid? Like, okay, let's say I was the girl that got my ass grabbed.
Yeah.
I will go up to him and say, "Nigga, look here." Or where's his mother or something?
Look.
Like, and I'll tell him, "What are you doing? A 9-year-old child should not get the cops called on."
But then you also
I'm
have
sorry.
people saying,
What?
believe all women.
Yeah. Listen to all women. And but there was proof.
That's not
that
what was going on
there
during
was
the Kavanaugh
proof.
hearings. It was believe all
Okay.
women.
How is that related
and
to
you know what?
this?
Even
But okay.
you believed Christine Ford because
her
you said
testimony
she
was
a
very compelling.
And
this
that's-
one's testimony was not compelling.
So, and I'm not trying to draw comparisons because it's
Right.
two different things. But I wanted us to kind of like just look through every one of them.
Well,
So let's start with.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If there was no, this is for Yeti. First of all, I think the woman deserved everything and more that came to her. But if there was no
Which
video,
woman?
this
New York woman?
Oh, is she from New York?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
If there was
nothing
no-
happened to her.
The
She didn't lose her
bodega-
job. She didn't
Well, I
lose her
mean,
job.
like I just mean the
corner
but,
store.
but
Corner- yeah.
she did lose her job. Her name is, they call it the corner store
yeah.
Caroline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corner Store Caroline.
Corner store Caroline.
She lost
if
her
there was
job?
no video
Evidence.
No, she did lose her
evidence,
job.
and I don't think she should lose her job, but like obviously I like the backlash she's getting. It's just because next time people, I mean, even if the guy, like, first of all, he didn't grab. It was
Okay,
And
so what
actually-
happened?
It was
but
a
before we go there, but
brushing
anyways,
of
back
his
to what you
backpack.
said about the testimony. If there was no video evidence, what would you have believed her?
No. Well, maybe.
Why?
But I would say
Why would
though,
you believe a
listen.
9-year-old
So you
Can
see
I
why we need to
finish?
have some kind of due
Can I
process
finish?
before the outcry.
In this case, if there was no video evidence or whatever, I would believe her and say, okay, but it's a child. Kids don't know any better. That's your job as an adult.
I agree.
To go and talk to the parents and tell her this is what your child did and let her handle it.
But why would you believe her without giving the child the benefit of the doubt?
Oh well, and we will ask the kid and say what happened.
Okay,
and if he says he didn't do it.
What if it was a 30-year-old man that the same thing happened?
I don't know. Well, it's a case by case basis.
But you see why I said that we need to have some. If we're gonna bring these things to the court of public opinion, then we need to have some type of
that's not what
analytical way of dissecting each and every one of these cases and judging them on their own basis.
But it's a case by case basis.
Yes.
We can't do.
But I think we're all in agreement that corner store Carolyn was an idiot.
She was a crazy woman.
Plus, she was a cop.
She wasn't.
She
claimed she wasn't.
She was a cop.
No, she lied.
She
woman lied.
She was lying the whole time.
She wasn't a cop.
But I do want to mention that everyone that was in that vicinity was against the woman. So it wasn't like as if people were coming
to her defense.
To her defense. So people did do the right thing.
And she traumatized the poor kid. You saw how he was crying. Like the boy was so.
She's an idiot. But did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Now, one thing I did notice about the video is, even though I don't think the woman was necessarily lying when she felt like someone grabbed her ass. She felt something. She didn't see what happened.
But she felt it.
Yeah, she didn't see what happened. But I saw the clip, and the way it happened so quickly.
She turned back, like what happened?
And the minute she turned back,
she saw the
kid,
boy walking.
Right. And they were right when they said it was actually the bag.
Yeah, it was his bag. You could see
that hit her. So we all agree
because his hand was holding his back, like his other thing you bought.
Yes,
his hands were not even free to grab anybody's.
So and I agree.
And even if I'm sorry, he's a kid. Kids should know better. I mean, he's a 9-year-old kid.
You weren't saying the same thing about XXX Tentacion.
He wasn't 9 years old.
Well, he was still 17. A kid, technically. But
you know better at 17, but okay. It's not the same thing, Corey.
It's not the same thing, but...
You know better about what?
About grabbing people's butt by 17.
No, I'm saying... No, sorry. You're saying he should know better.
Oh, no. I said he doesn't know any better at 9 years old. I feel like we should give kids more benefit of the doubt than we should give adults.
I think we should give all kids more benefit of the doubt.
Yes,
including 17-year-olds.
Okay.
No.
But anyway... I don't agree with that.
So we're done with Corner Store Carolyn. The next one is...
Sorry. But that's the... Why are we just saying... Why can't you give everybody the benefit of the doubt? Like... it's he didn't. It wasn't a grab,
right?
It was a graze.
Yes,
sure.
His backpack,
even if that was,
it wasn't even his hand.
There was no backpack. Even if that was a grown ass man.
Why are you grabbing my ass as a grown ass man?
Now let me finish. And he grazed her.
Right.
I think the first thing for her to do is assess the situation and say, "Hey, did you just graze me?" You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so we can't just say because he's a kid is the reason why she should give him the benefit. You can give, because truthfully, we're here saying 9. I just asked you if it was a 30-year-old man.
It could have happened to anybody.
Well, if a 30-year-old man grazed me and was just walking innocently, I wouldn't. You have to,
but that's the same thing. The boy was anybody that grazed. Even that's what I'm saying. At any situation, you need to just be like, "Oh, fam, did you just touch me?" And then from there move forward, not just feel, "Oh my god, he just grabbed my ass." No.
Well,
so give everybody benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
Unless if it was a physical
grab,
right,
and
then you know
saying.
that
a grab was a different thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the kid didn't even. How did she say he grabbed her when he just brushed past her?
Let's move on to the next docket. Hallway Hillary.
Oh gosh. What about her?
There's a bunch of these. There's Hallway Hillary. There's Golf Cart Gail. There's the internet is full of. But let's look at Hallway Hillary, because I felt like Hallway Hillary's own went a little bit too far in terms of the outcry and the reaction.
How?
And I'll tell you why. She did lose her job.
Okay.
She did lose her job.
She deserves whatever she gets. I'm sorry.
So here's what happened, right? This lady that lives in this apartment building. Mm-hmm. She goes out to walk a dog. She opens the door for her dog to take a pee. Some guy
was coming.
A black man comes in. Decides he wants to enter. She tells him, "No, use your FOB."
She didn't say that.
She did.
She just says, "Do you live?" She didn't say that. She just said,
"Do
you live here?"
It's a key fob. Which one's FOB?
Key fob. I thought. I've been calling it FOB this whole time.
All she had to do to avoid this whole situation. Let me finish, please. She could have just stepped aside and let the door close, and then let him use his key fob. That was it. That was all.
Did you watch the
video?
Because I watched the video.
I didn't. Yeah,
she asked him to use his
after she was already standing there, and no, she said, "Let me see your key fob," and he said, "I don't have to show you." Why does he have to show her? She doesn't
She's not the police, no,
own.
it's not the
She's not a
authority.
police. Exactly. What?
No,
I wish
okay.
someone would tell me my apartment to
Show me your key fob. No, all she had to do was say, "I'm stepping aside." Close the door,
All
and then
she-
you open your key with your key fob or whatever. That's all she had to do.
Okay, but
Not
she
be
didn't.
the police.
Okay, so because and here is what I really want to get into, right? You do understand the security implications of letting
She didn't
people-
have to let him in.
No, let me finish. But you understand the security implications of letting people in after you, right?
Right.
Without them
I
using
understand that.
the
We have the same
key fob.
policy at work.
So
You can't
I'll
let
tell you,
people
at my
in.
job, right? There was a
Right.
time that I left. The lady, the security
Don't
lady,
snitch.
the lady, she knew who I was.
Uh-huh.
She greets me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She knew exactly who I was. It turns out I actually left without my pass. When I tried to get back in,
She would let you in.
she knew I was there. She didn't let me in.
Okay, she was doing her job.
She
that-
But she was authority. She was the person that was in charge of doing
No,
that.
it
She's
applies to
security.
everybody. It's not just security. Even as an employee, you're not allowed to let anyone.
Okay.
You can lose your job
Yeah, okay.
as a result. It's
So
it's
what's
the
your
same.
point in this
It's,
situation?
let me
But
finish.
this is not
Let
a
me
job.
finish.
This is
I
not-
let
this
you.
is a job.
No,
Let
it
me
was
finish.
apartment building
It's
that
the
they
same
lived in.
security protocols they use for everywhere, even apartment complexes. You're not allowed to let people
Yeah.
people
let's
that
say
are
that.
not-
they're
Correct.
not
Yeah.
unless they use their stuff.
Okay, but
So-
he could have used his stuff. He had it in his hand. He was going to. If she wasn't standing right there, he would have.
He was.
Yeah.
And how do you know he
had
was
his
going
key
to?
fob in his hand.
But this is
What?
no. Corey,
She blocked the door. No, can I?
Why did she block the door? It's my whole point. She didn't have to do all that. She went too crazy. What are you doing?
Let me finish though. You do understand that it's policy. It's in
Wait,
most
let me ask.
apartment
Sorry,
buildings, you're not allowed
does she
to
work
let
there or
any-
does she live
She
there?
lives
lives
there.
there.
But
Okay,
even as a tenant,
so
even as a tenant,
Corey,
you're not allowed to let people
I
get
can
in.
I can walk down. So like in my apartment, leasing like the mailbox is on the first floor. So like sometimes I come down the stairs, and when you come down the main stairs, you can see the main entrance. And sometimes I see people waiting in that space between like the door and then
Yes.
the other door, and I just do like I don't see them.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking in or I'm about to leave, I'm not going to pause and be like, let me see if they open the door first. I'll open the door. If you walk in, you walk in. I'm not going to go out of my way to prevent you from going inside. And if we're saying she has a right to do this, then we'll say that the guy at the long time ago, the lady that was at the pool, community pool,
Yes.
the guy that was asking her to showcase her pass to make sure she's allowed to be there, then we're saying he's right too.
But he
Why is he He wasn't. He called the cops and he lost his job, and I'm glad he did, because he was policing a black woman in a community pool. Who are you to tell who to use the
my
community
question
pool?
is, so let me
Right.
ask you something.
So you
right?
can't ask me people.
Let me
You
ask
don't work
something,
there.
right?
If you work there, I understand. If
So let
it's
me ask you
security, I would
something,
understand.
right? If it happened to be a black lady that did that,
Still, same thing.
Same
She's an
thing.
asshole.
Right.
but
What
would
is
it
she
have made her
doing?
a racist?
I would have made her.
No. Well,
black. You know, black people
Because
can't
I
be
told you
racist.
about
be
I told you
right.
about the security guard. So
Right,
you feel
right.
like
But
the security
she was
guard
doing
was
her
being-
job.
No,
Correct.
it is everyone's. It's not just her
Correct.
job. It is even
They tell you to be
employees
vigilant.
are not
No,
allowed.
correct. Forget office.
It's a security
In your apartment, they
protocol.
tell you to be. Obviously, you got to be
Be
vigilant.
vigilant.
But it's
Right.
not your job to enforce.
Enforce rules.
No, you can't
Right.
enter here
What?
without the
You
key
can't
fob.
enforce
I've seen
anything.
trying to
Fair.
enter from the garage. I've
Fair.
seen somebody rather than open the door for me,
So-
closed it.
So
Right.
my
And I was
question
like,
is,
and that was
Cool.
all she had.
That's all you had to do.
That
So-
was all she had
and
to
I was
do.
like, cool.
we all agree that this girl was being overzealous.
She was.
She was
I
doing
She was
too much.
doing too much.
She was doing way
She
too
was
much
doing too
because
much.
he was a black
But
guy.
my question, but my
okay.
question is, how do you arrive at the fact that because he was a black guy,
Because it
why she
happened
was
to a
doing
black
that?
guy.
Why?
Because right.
It
So
happened
what
to
if it happened? So what if it was another
And
white
also,
Correct.
she
person
was
that it
saying,
happened
Correct.
to?
wait.
How do you
Correct.
draw that
Wait,
conclusion
wait.
that it's because it was a black guy?
Corey, because there's a stigma around.
Right.
Like, even let
You
me
know,
tell
you
you.
have
Let
to
me. There's a
use the
stigma.
societal
yeah.
thing now.
There's
Come
a
What
on.
stigma
societal
around
thing?
it.
Okay.
What? No, you see, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like we look at these things through a racial lens.
I'm not going
lens
to call her.
begin
I'm not
with.
going to call her a racist off
I
the top of
am.
my head because of that. But I'm going to say she's an asshole.
Yes, she is an asshole. She's an overzealous.
And unfortunately,
tenant.
yeah, you might.
There are a lot of
But
them.
the reason people make this conclusion about it is because it always
Happens to the same
black
people over
At
and
the same
over
thing
again.
without
So
proof.
it never. So you're saying it never
I didn't
happens
say-
to.
I didn't- in that even the white
So what
people
are we
happens to. Watch them. They're usually white trash looking people. They stereotype them too.
Duh.
So
Corey,
it's the
why you
same
act like
thing.
You don't
No,
know
no,
this?
because
the
I'm
same
trying to
thing
make
too.
a point about why you are making it
So-
a racial thing. Because the reason why, what I think is, when you make it a racial thing, I feel like you
Corey,
are
she
are
looked at
applying
it.
your bias.
Corey, if that
to
was it,
That's
if
not
that
true.
was
Yes,
it.
you are, because
Okay.
because like I said, when I asked you if this girl
Would
happened
she
to be a
have
black
done
girl,
it to? Would she, this Hillary girl,
But black
have
people
done it
too.
to
Black
white,
people
another
too.
white
Black
woman
people too
or white
discriminate
man?
each other.
how
though.
do you know she wouldn't have done it?
I don't think
But Corey,
so.
black
You
people
don't think so?
discriminate
And what
each
she
other.
said
So you see
was-
what I'm saying about
she
public
said-
opinion
Let me finish.
here?
I'm going by what she said. She said, I've never seen you. The apartment as big as that? You know everybody that lives in your apartment. Really? That's what she said.
Did
Like,
she lose anything?
Yeah, she lost her job.
Okay, if that was, let me say my own thing. If that was a black woman too, I would like her to get the same treatment as
Okay.
To
anybody.
lose her job.
If that's the case, if you're being an asshole about it, yeah, if and your job
So,
feels
so if you're being a so
And your
basically-
job feels
so
that-
your standard now is
Why is
that
that job-
if you're an
but if your
asshole,
job feels-
you deserve to lose your job.
corner store, whatever, did she lose her job? If your job
No, she
feels,
didn't.
that's what I'm
Corner
saying now.
store- but
If
the
your
job
job
prerogative.
feels,
We're talking about hallway Hillary here.
yeah. So
Yeah,
if
but
all,
that's
But
your
do you know
job
why?
prerogative
But do you know
to
why
do
she
that.
loses? But do you know why she lost her job?
Why?
Why?
Because of the public outcry that basically declared that she was being a racist.
yeah, and the judge did, and
Okay,
they
they
probably thought
judged
she
it based
was.
on what they wanted. They didn't have
Not
to
my
fire
business.
her.
How
What?
do you understand?
But that's
how
not my
mob
business.
rules?
Now that's the
right.
job.
Can
That's
you
the-
imagine
that's
if
the
Twitter?
jobs.
Can you imagine if Twitter was the one deciding who was being racist? and
Well,
who
the
wasn't?
job,
But
the
the
job
job
allowed
decided
it.
that.
They allowed Twitter to
Correct.
Oh,
decide.
do you know what
don't think-
happens to these people?
What?
People actually reach out to their jobs and tell them to get
do you know,
fired.
Do you know what? Do you know
But the
what?
job's
you think that's
prerogative
fair?
to fire and not
But
to
do you know
fire
what?
them. You
It's
know
not-
that,
it's
right?
not
do you know what?
public
But do you know
outcry.
what? The job can ignore it.
Exactly.
This- next
How
week,
many
nobody's
jobs-
talking
you know
about
how
public
many-
pressure.
Yes,
Next week,
there are other
nobody's
jobs
talking
that
about
didn't fire people.
Correct.
Correct.
Next
Yes.
week, nobody's
You guys
talking
look
about
at
hallway.
The
permits,
Charlottesville,
whatever,
the
all of them, nobody's talking
Charlottesville
about them anymore.
protest. A lot of people didn't get fired, and I feel like they were even worse. Jobs new, and they just look the other way. There's
Yeah,
so many.
let's
So
not
please, it's the
conflate-
job. No.
let's not conflate Charlottesville.
Correct. And I'm saying because they.
Let's not
Can I
conflict
finish?
Charlottesville. This is an asshole here
Can I
that we're talking
finish,
about.
please? Thank you.
You have no
Okay,
evidence that she's
since
a
you wanna keep talking,
racist.
go ahead.
You have no evidence that she's a racist, and I'm just trying to understand why you think it's justified for someone to lose their job because they were being an asshole outside of their job. You think it's okay, and here's my thing: if it happened to be the same races that this thing happened to, you don't know if you feel the same way.
Are you done? Because you were interrupted. You
I wasn't interrupting. You didn't let me finish. I
Okay.
never got my word in.
Okay.
But finish.
Now you're done. You're
Yeah.
done. Thank you.
Yeah.
The people in Charlottesville that were obviously racist.
This is not Charlottesville. This is an asshole.
Can I finish? You keep interrupting me,
Okay.
Corey. They were obviously racist. Obviously. That's what they went there for. Let me finish. The jobs, a lot of them didn't get fired because it's the job's prerogative. All I'm trying to say is your job has a prerogative to fire you or not fire you.
How do you know a lot of,
And
I don't
the
know.
job
Have you
didn't.
followed up with everyone? Have you done
Actually,
investigations?
some people actually called the jobs like you said, and they didn't get fired.
But
there were actual reports that said so, Corey.
But you can see there's a problem with when these things happen, and we look at these 2 minute clips online, and
happens?
people rush to judgment, and we conclude that this person is a racist and they deserve to lose their job. You see why it can be a problem. Let's move on to the next one. Let's
Nobody
move
ever
on
said they
to.
deserve to lose their job.
No,
If
but
their job
that's what-
feels-
but
their
that's what
job
Yeti
feels
if
was
the
like
job
that,
feels they
then the
deserve
job
it,
do
then
what
that's
they
their
do.
I don't
job. That's
think
a
you understand. I
prerogative.
don't think you understand how
I'm not-
online mob mentality works. They have you heard
Corey,
of
you can-
doxing?
you
Have you heard of when they
no.
say they dox people?
Corey, the jobs can
Where
ignore
people
these
find
things.
out people's personal lives.
You don't want to put it out there now.
What do you mean? No. Doxing, you don't necessarily put it out there. People actually go online and pretty much hack you and find out where you live, where you work. This is what happens to these people because of the public outcry. I don't want us to just dismiss it and act like, look, I get it that she was being an asshole, but here's the thing: I feel like we have to draw a line in terms of
Says who?
says me is my opinion.
Okay, that you have to draw a line.
I feel like you have to draw a line in terms of when we
Anybody can
when we
fall victim
when we
for it,
attack
sure.
people personally, because it can happen to anybody.
Yeah,
Well, it
but
can happen to
it can
you
happen
too.
to me. Yeah, sure.
It can happen to
It can
anybody.
happen
Where
to
something
anybody.
happens, there's a 2 minute clip. There's no context, nothing. People rush to judgment. Let's move on to the next one.
What? Dude,
Roseanne.
You lay your bed, you lie on top of it.
Abi,
Roseanne.
thank you.
That's just it.
Actions have
No,
consequences.
no,
Yes.
no.
Every action
Those
has
actions, those
Have
consequences,
consequences.
those consequences
Oh,
are
well.
way
Are
too
you a
ridiculous.
judge to
By the way,
tell
it
me?
actually turned out that this woman actually happens to be
Who?
married to a black person.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter. It doesn't
That
matter.
doesn't mean.
Oh, so
anything,
that
but
doesn't
okay.
matter.
All
But then
right.
because you see this woman act like
I
an
never
asshole
called
for
her
2
a
minutes,
racist. I never
you
said
concluded
she was a racist. I just
no,
said
but
she was an
she
asshole.
lost her job because she was perceived to be a racist.
Well, like
She
I
lost her
said,
job because
Corey,
she was
Corey,
perceived to
if
be
I
a
was- If
racist.
I'm in a workplace, if I'm the one hiring HR, whatever, I was in charge of that, my investigation will go beyond you
Public
saying you have a
opinion.
public opinion. You
Exactly.
saying you
What?
have. How do we know that she has not been getting
understand
complaints before? How do you know that this?
when
not
there's national, I feel like
Correct.
you guys are the
I
way
feel
you
like
guys
you're
are
reaching, but
the way you
okay.
guys are talking about this. I'll be honest, it's kind of naive because you're saying, oh, the job can do whatever they choose to.
They
Do you
can.
understand when something gets
What?
national headline news
Uh-huh.
and people all over are saying this person, she's a racist. She's doing it because he's a black man. This, that. Do you
ask you a
understand the kind of
question.
pressures
Let me
a
ask you a
business
question. What happened to George Zimmerman?
Right? What?
What
So
happened to him?
please,
You keep trying to
anyway.
I'm just telling you that you keep saying outright. What happened to him?
Yeti just admitted that we have to look at these things on a case by case basis. You keep bringing up Charlottesville, Georgia.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because you're saying that every time there's an outcry, the solution
People get fired. People don't always get fired. That's what we're saying.
People get on with their lives.
So
People move on
wait,
with
you're
their
asking
lives,
me.
they
So
don't
how about
always
this?
get
So you
fired.
tell me what happened to George
He's
Zimmerman?
living his life.
Says who?
He's
What is he
living his
doing?
life. What's wrong
He
with his
just
life?
actually said he was gonna kill Jay-Z at
Yeah,
one
he's
point.
living his
He's
life.
not getting
Says
any.
who?
They
Okay,
paid for his
correct.
court
Yeah, his life is
thing.
Right?
destroyed.
They paid. They
Really?
refunded
His
his
life is
court cases. His life
destroyed?
is not destroyed.
Look, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not here to
Okay,
defend
who's the
George
next- who's the
Zimmerman.
next
I'm
on
not
that
here
list?
to
Like, you have a
defend
list.
George
Moving on.
Zimmerman.
You said Roseanne.
I'm not here to defend
So
George
what happened to
Zimmerman. But
Roseanne?
stop acting like
Talk
like
about
he's
Roseanne.
living
Talk
his
about
life.
Roseanne.
Roseanne, same thing happened, right?
By the way,
It
George
was-
Zimmerman killed somebody. Just so you know. So even if
That's
him
even
just
worse,
I'm
even
not
being
here
right?
to
on the street
defend
is
George
even,
Zimmerman.
Okay, but go on.
I'm not here to defend. He was found innocent in the court of law. I don't think he should be found innocent, but that's
Roseanne.
besides the point.
Oh yeah, Roseanne.
Roseanne, same thing happened. She posted a
A
tweet.
tweet, yes.
Everyone
Read the
concluded.
tweet.
Everyone
Read the
concluded.
tweet.
I can tell you what the context of the tweet. The tweet was about. She said, she can't believe."
Something ape. What Valerie?
It was a very,
Jarrett.
very silly tweet.
It was a
she
silly
pretty
tweet?
much said the word ape in a sentence in the same sentence as a black woman.
Okay.
What was her
That's
defense?
what you got from that tweet, Corey.
Yes,
Okay.
it was an attack. It was an attack, and it had to do with Iran or something like that.
Right.
She talked about it on the podcast, on some other podcast, Joe Rogan.
Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby is equals to
Okay.
DJ.
Yes.
So that's not calling her an ape. Okay, Corey.
So
I don't even
can
know
I-
what to
And
say.
BJ
No.
stands for Valerie Jarrett.
yes.
So she
So
said,
let's
basically she
peel it
said-
back. Peel it back right now.
she first of all,
Roseanne
by
claimed.
Muslim Brotherhood, you know she's talking about
Right,
ISIS and
what?
stuff, which first of all, it's
It's even
wrong.
a right.
Wait. By Muslim brother, what?
She's talking about ISIS, not terrorists.
Yes.
Yes. Why are you saying
Why are you saying
Muslims
she-
are terrorists?
right,
Is that what you're
what?
saying? All Muslims are terrorists. That's number one. And then number two, you're now saying Planet of the Apes
Yes.
had a
I don't
baby
see how you don't. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
But do you know what Planet of the Apes is? It's a movie.
about apes.
apes.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
about apes. Yes.
What's when black players are on the soccer
So-
field
And
they're
throwing
throwing
bananas at them?
You have
What
to
is
use
that representing? Corey,
like,
come on.
please.
No, but, I'm
There's some
going to talk about
some
it.
words
Am I allowed
there's
to
some,
talk
yeah, you
about
can
it?
talk about it, but there's some words
Should I
that
tell you
we know.
what? Should I tell you what
What was
her
intention?
defense
What was
was?
her defense?
First of all, she said she didn't know Valerie Jarrett was a white woman. Have you looked at Valerie Jarrett?
She's a black woman.
She didn't know she was a black
How did she
woman.
not know she was a black woman? Everybody knows she's a black woman.
So
You see, and that's what
So
I'm saying.
when
So
I
you've
do-
already assumed that she must have known she was a black woman.
wait.
She's claimed she didn't know she was a black
Okay.
woman.
So how are you?
If
If
wait,
you look
so
at
how are
Valerie
you-
Jarrett,
how are you insulting
she
somebody?
doesn't
you don't
necessarily look
know?
obviously
Well,
black.
true.
She doesn't.
True. But
Number one.
uh-huh.
Number two. She did mention that she was on Ambien. Now, are you familiar that
Okay,
people
so
that have taken
Ambien,
Ambien,
uh-huh.
That's a business. I don't
there
care.
have been
It's-
reports about this stuff.
So you get on Twitter and you tweet while on Ambien
Yeah.
at racist things. You know, people. It's like saying you were drunk.
So you really
These
assume
things
she's
come
lying, right?
out of
Corey,
you that was already
stop
in
making
you.
Cases of
What?
people
What are you
now.
saying?
It's like the way I always hate when people do things and then they plead insanity. Nigga, you ain't crazy, man. You know
What?
what you were doing.
So
like,
so tell me why you think
That's
why
like a
why
drunk
are you so
person.
convinced?
Why is it so
why are you so convinced
convenient?
she was being racist?
because you're first
Because
of
she
all,
used the word ape
two
in the same sentence
yeah,
as the black person.
Not just that.
Not
you
even
first
the
of all say the
Muslim
Muslim
Brotherhood
Brotherhood. What's that
thing.
supposed to mean? It's the same way people that call Obama a terrorist. They say
Muslim,
they say it's
or
Muslim. They
whatever.
don't say it's Muslim in a positive way. That they're using that word as a.
But
In a pejorative way.
But is
We know
Valerie
that.
Jarrett a Muslim?
She's
So
not,
then
but
why
she's
call
not.
her
So
Muslim
where are you
as an
coming
insult?
up? Where
Though
are you
that was an
coming up?
insult. You
Where
know
are you
that,
coming
right?
up with the connection to
calling
Why are you using?
racism?
Why are you using
So,
Muslim
okay, so
as
what
an
do you want
insult?
to
You guys
tell
are
me that?
struggling
So what do you
here.
want to tell-
I'm
what do you want to
waiting.
tell me, guys?
Wait.
Here's my
We're
thing.
struggling.
Her defense was that, look, number one, I didn't know this woman was a black lady. She didn't know.
Comfortable.
Okay.
If you
that's
assume
fine.
that she's telling the truth,
Okay.
right?
You
If you
still
assume
use Muslim as an insult,
that she's
which is a
telling the
terrible thing in
truth,
the first
right?
place.
But is she a Muslim?
Why? So then why you use it as an insult in the first place?
where-
Okay, I'm not Muslim,
My
but you're using me as an
my
insult.
question is, how
That's
do
wrong.
you conclude racism? Number two, if we assume that it is true that she did take Ambien, and then there were side effects
Since
from that
when
Ambien,
has Ambien made you racist?
have you heard of
What?
side effects of Ambien?
Okay, what are
If
they?
there's
NBN
one
came
online.
out actually
Someone
and
was
said our medicine does not make you
Someone
do this.
actually talked about how
Okay.
his mom took Ambien and his mom made a whole meal in the
That's
middle
a
of the night.
different thing. Not being racist. That's like saying you were drunk and you had sex with somebody.
we don't-
no,
but-
you
but
were
we've
drunk
just concluded
and
that
you
we don't
called
know if she
somebody
was being
an asshole
racist.
or whatever. It was already in you.
Okay,
But we
what
just
are you saying?
concluded that we don't know she was
Corey,
being
get-
racist.
Get to what you wanted.
We
to
just
happen.
concluded that you don't know she was being
So
racist.
what do you want to happen? What did you
Okay.
want
If,
to
she,
happen?
if we assume that she thought she was a white woman,
Uh-huh.
then there's really no racism angle.
Corey,
Okay, no racism
continue.
angle, but the Muslim angle.
And Valerie Jarrett is not a Muslim.
but
Okay,
you still use the
so-
Muslim
yes,
as
she
an
used-
insult.
yes.
What?
So
that's not a bad thing.
So and then if we couple that with the fact that if she was
Do-
tweeting
do-
nonsense,
do-
first of all,
yes.
you read the tweet, right? You saw that the tweet didn't, even the insult didn't
Oh
really
gosh,
make any
Corey,
sense.
please
Let
don't
me-
do this.
let
You're
me
too
tell you-
smart for
let me tell you
this.
something.
No, I'm doing
Please.
it.
Okay.
So what
When-
ended up happening to her? She lost her entire show.
That's good for
She
her.
lo-
Okay.
So why is it good for her?
As she should have.
yo, let
And
me- let
also,
me tell
you
you
Why?
know that this is not the first racism.
Where is the due
No,
And
process?
I
no, no,
finish.
no. There's
Corey,
no
you
due
keep
process.
talking, but you're not letting anybody else get
No,
it.
you guys talk,
edgewise.
but you're getting.
This is not her first racial issue that she's had. She's said other horrible things online. Or was she on ambient this whole time?
I don't know.
Corey,
Okay, you
Corey,
won't know.
So what horrible things?
Corey.
I didn't even.
It's
a
not
lot
just
of other
Corey,
things.
Corey,
So
Corey,
I
beg,
Corey,
please,
Corey.
let's move on,
People have
Gary.
been-
You
even
guys
black
are all
people
over the
have been
place.
judged. When you
Yes,
see, you find
Yes,
out the other day we spoke about who did we talk
Can I
about?
see the list?
People have been judged by tweets. They tweet. You see,
People
players-
shouldn't lose jobs
Listen,
because of
even players,
because
you
of
see
140
even,
characters.
You see
That's what I'm saying.
celebrities, athletes who, when they were 18, tweeted homophobic tweets and then came out. At the end of the day, when you're in the spotlight, unfortunately, it's part of what you signed up for. When you're a celebrity, it's part of.
Losing-
If I tweeted that about Valerie Jarrett, nobody would care. But unfortunately, if I became famous, you have
It's
to watch.
ridiculous
so
that she
you
lost
have
her
to
show
watch-
because of it.
And guess what? The show's been thriving, so
you-
they're doing good.
You
Man.
know, the show is what?
It's been doing good.
What do you mean? The show has been cancelled.
It came back. Didn't it come
As
back?
the
the
Connors,
Connors- yeah,
yeah,
the
the
Connors
Connors
came
are
back.
doing good.
Yeah.
It's only been out for like a week.
The ratings are
Yeah,
good. Is
well,
all we're
say-
saying.
ratings
We
say- well,
judge a show's
it's
success
only
on
been out for
ratings,
like a
right?
week. Okay,
Yeah, but
that's
we judge it based
I
on
never
ratings.
never
no?
watched the original show to
I
begin
did.
with.
I
It
love
was
Rose
pretty
and the
okay.
original.
But let me tell
Roseanne,
you why.
not the
But let me
reboot.
tell you why a lot of these issues, right? They seem to. Why I feel like they seem to generate a lot
I
of.
still can't believe you just defended Roseanne. But
Yes,
okay.
I defended
Go ahead.
Roseanne. She didn't deserve to lose her job.
Okay.
She
So
didn't
what did
deserve
she
to lose her job.
deserve?
Okay.
I don't care, but she didn't deserve
But
to
who
lose
are you to
her,
say
her whole
what
show.
she deserves?
What she deserves
Or doesn't
anyway.
deserve?
Who are you to say she deserved to lose her show?
The people that were in charge made a decision, and I said then they did their decision.
Yeah, because of the public outcry. What people don't understand
And
is that
how do you know the people that
people tend
fired
not to
her
realize.
didn't decided that was racist
Hold on,
too?
ABC.
How do you
Listen
know
to this
that?
headline: ABC cancelled Roseanne's show over a racist tweet. Her feed's been full of racism and
Thank
conspiracy theories for a
you
decade.
for decade.
So it
She's
finally just came out. Everybody.
finally-
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was one
she's had
isolation.
records.
First of all, we have not established that it was a racist tweet. We
Okay.
actually haven't.
All right.
I'm not
The fact
convinced.
that okay, let's
Me
say
as a
even
black
say-
man,
let's
I am
even
not
say-
even offended.
Okay, that's you.
Yeah.
That's you. Even if the ape thing wasn't racist, let's say the fact that she used Muslim to insult somebody is a horrible thing.
Wait,
What?
She said
That's an Islamophobic
she
thing.
said
You
she
do
was
not
a. She said she was
really
a product
a mix of
Muslim Brotherhood. She
Really,
made the
Corey?
claim. She made the claim
Okay.
that she was drawing connections to Iran because of what she did with Iran.
Okay, really?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm done.
Have
with
you even
this.
heard her
Okay.
defense?
I'm-
Did you
I
even
don't
bother
need
trying to hear her defense?
I don't need to
No,
hear
you
the
don't.
defense,
You haven't. No, of course
You-
you don't need to
you
hear.
told me
because
enough that I
because I
have
feel
heard.
like you've already fed into the narrative that it doesn't matter as
Fed
long as there's a
narrative.
white person and a black person. If there's anything offensive said, it has to be racist.
That's not true.
That
but
is what
okay.
you're
The
saying.
fact that she
That is what you're
used
saying.
ape-
And you know what you do when you do that.
Okay.
You know what you do when you do that. You it's almost like you pretty much infantilize black people.
We infantilize black
Yes,
people, really.
I you know why? Because
Okay.
I find it offensive.
That's-
like my thing is, I feel like when you start changing the standards for how a white person should address a black person, that to me
The
in
ape
itself.
thing
Let me
is a
finish.
horrible
Let me
thing
I let
based on the history
you see-
of
you see-
America.
You see,
What?
now you're starting to
I'm starting to.
you're starting to cut me off.
I didn't cut you off.
Yes,
but
I
okay,
was
go ahead.
I was about to
your
finish
thoughts.
something.
Uh-huh.
My own thing is when you make it seem like every little thing that you say, if you can't say a certain word to a black man, you can't say this. What that does for me is, to me, it's insulting, because it's almost like you're trying to say that my level of tolerance for insults is lower and is justified to be lower than the other races. I think that in itself is a bad message.
It depends on
that
the
in itself is a bad
insults,
message.
Corey.
I'll give you another example. The kid, the coolest monkey in the jungle, right?
Okay.
You know what the mom said?
She didn't care because she was an American. She was European. She is not from America.
But then there was all this outcry.
But
in America,
you know why?
So,
Because
America.
America assumes everyone is offended by these words. Not everybody.
Wait. So
and when you do that, you make a blanket statement about all black people.
After the outcry,
period.
what happened to H&M? After the outcry, what happened
Right?
They were boycotting them now. Look, it's not about
boycotting?
people who are calling for boycotts
Really?
and all this
This guy-
stuff.
you see, that's the thing, you always
People
say
who are
like this.
calling for boycotts
Of what?
of H&M.
And what happened?
They brought down the ad because it was people were too sensitive because of it. They ended up attacking.
Why do you always limit? Do you know that this same thing happens when you say things about Jews? When you say things about it's
Right?
not just
It's
black
not
people. You're
just
not
black
isolating
people.
what
I
you
know
see.
that,
So why are you
right?
making it seem
Familiar.
like-
You tell
and
me,
you're
then.
not familiar. Then expose
Okay,
yourself
then
to
tell
it.
me,
Now
double-
these things happen.
give me an example.
Now
Give me an example.
There was if just looking at
Ben,
Roseanne.
what's
Give me an
his
example.
name?
Oh.
Mel
you're
Gibson.
back on your phone.
Hold on.
Mel Gibson, with this whole Jew thing that he did. You
You're back on your
don't
phone.
want to hear about
Corey,
that.
He
hold
do
talked
you,
about black
Corey?
people too.
Yeah, and he got boycotted for the longest time. He's just finally coming back now to
He
work.
talked about a pack of niggas raping a woman. Of course, he was being racist.
Okay, so there was
Okay, that's racist. It
doesn't get any clearer than
let's
that.
Go back, Let's go
Okay.
back to Roseanne.
All right.
There's a do you know the BDS movement, the boycott divestment sanctions? I'd never heard of it before, but anyways, they they're telling people to boycott Israel. Actually, that was their thing. Anyways, Roseanne, a school supported that movement, and Roseanne tweeted, "I hope all the Jews leave the school and the school gets nuked." This is how people feel when you say things that doesn't support them. Same thing with the T-shirt. Someone saw a coolest whatever monkey in the jungle. I didn't think it was. I only thought.
So is that an example of the Jew
Yes,
thing?
now that's somebody that is offended by something in her. I don't know if she's Jewish, but in the Jewish capacity, that this school supported this. Let's nuke them. Like, how you going to treat that? So it's the same way somebody sees something about black people that you don't like, and they're going to come up with an outrage. Guy, everybody, you same way you see something about Yoruba people you don't like, you come up with an outrage.
You said something. You said that that whenever it happens to
It happens to every category of life.
So and I told you to give me an example.
I just gave you an example. So a school supports a movement to boycott Israel.
I gave you
which somebody
Mel Gibson,
doesn't
but
like,
you didn't
and the
take
person
that.
had an outrage.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
Mel
Corey.
Gibson was clearly being an anti-Semite and a racist.
Okay, that's what we're saying. Everybody.
Clearly.
Okay,
So are you
what do
telling me
mean
that this
He
clearly?
doesn't
talked about
happen?
a pack of niggas raping some
So-
Are you
girl.
telling me this only happens in the black community?
No,
We're
I'm not
the
saying
ones
this only
that are
happens in the black
outraged.
community. What I'm saying is that I feel like the reaction sometimes we have this reactionary thing where we get outraged.
Because
Everybody
we're-
reacts about
like,
everything. We're not here
thank
sitting down about
you.
people
What?
saying they should boycott Wizkid because of baby dad. This guy, it happens everywhere. People just feel the
No,
need to
it's
react,
a-
and
it's
it
a
is what it
boycott.
is.
It's a different level.
No, it's
What's the
not.
different
It's a
level
different level.
Because
there?
you're in America.
A
you're
lot of
listening
people
to
have
it
lost
here.
their jobs this year already.
And then
Because of
I don't-
either some dumb thing they said, or because people rushed to judgment and decided, you know what? Because this person confronted a black person, they have to be a racist. I do not subscribe
So
to
you
that.
think it's only when white people say things to black people they lose their job?
How about you give me an
No, I'm
example?
just asking. Is that that's what you're
How
making
about
it
you?
seem like that?
It seems like it because
Okay.
whenever the same situations happen between same races, there doesn't seem to be
Okay,
as
now
much
you give
outcry.
an example of the
So
same situation happening to the same races.
what do you mean?
The same race.
You're
Yeah,
saying
you're
they aren't
asking for-
Okay,
assholes.
give the same situation that happened to the
I just gave you an example
of what?
Of what?
of my
Two black people
no
together.
at my job.
Was that on
the
social
lady
media?
that was being an
Did I
asshole?
put that? Did they
Did
put
they
that on
put it
social media?
You know what? Because you know why? If I put it on social media, it's not going to get any traction.
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because it's the same race.
Okay. Why?
All
Put it
people
first.
see is you don't
Put it
get
first.
it,
Put
do
it
you?
first and then we can see.
You don't get it, do you?
You're judging real life.
So you're telling me.
with-
So you're telling me this will get this. You see, this is where I know that you're being disingenuous.
What?
You're telling me this same thing. If it happened between a white person and a white person, it would get the same reaction.
Let's find out. Let's see it.
Ah, come on, man.
Let's
Come on.
find
Even
out.
you don't believe that.
Let's find out.
Even you don't believe that.
If it happened between a white person and a Jewish person, if it happened between
But you're
someone-
forgetting
yeah,
the
yeah.
history of this
Even
country,
you don't
though.
believe
But
that.
okay,
Forget
correct.
about the
I
history.
feel like you always
You're
You
always
can't
so
tell-
hung
you can't
up on the
tell- you can't
history.
tell people
Alright.
to forget
You're
about
always so
history.
hung up on the history.
Let's hung
Look
up
at
on the
today.
history.
Well, you're
Alright.
also hung up on the
Okay,
history. What
right.
history?
What's
Okay,
next? Who's
okay.
next?
What
Moving
history?
on.
Someone's
Who's
great grandfather.
Okay,
Who's next?
Anyway,
Who's next?
Please,
on
no,
your
that
list?
was really all I was going to. And anyway, the reason why I brought all this up is because I feel like we generally have this this major bias, right?
Who's
when
we?
Who's I was gonna say who's
This we
we?
you keep saying, who's
You're
we?
not even
I
a
feel
black
like-
American, Corey. You can't even
Who's the
say
we
what
you
they
take?
should
No,
feel
but
offended
I-
by.
but I
You
know
know
that,
that, right?
But
I used
I
to
do
I used
feel
to
like
I used
I
to
do-
feel I used to feel this way too until
so whenever
You can't.
I took
dis-
I always used to say it. There was
So-
a day I took a class in school which I was forced to take because of whatever.
it
And it
always
was
starts with class.
no, I was forced to take it now. A history of American and African studies, and I didn't like the class, but seeing like I remember when my professor came to class. She's a black lady. She came to class with like a box of what she found in her father's or grandfather's attic, and when she was opening stuff inside, I was like, God damn, like just a lot of slave stuff. And I was
Right,
like,
like,
I can
you
never
can't
relate to
even say
that.
we
Like
cho-
at some time at that point, I was
Exactly.
like,
So
you know
that's
what?
why I'm saying
We're
you
always-
can't relate.
we're
to
always
it
gonna
either,
have a
Corey.
black
I can never relate
You
to
do
it.
a big
We're
one.
always gonna have
actually.
black-
Yeah,
Okay.
as an African,
But
I
here's the
can't.
thing, right? At the end of the day, I'm still part of the black community.
You to an extent.
To an extent,
It
you're
doesn't
not
matter
African
to an extent,
American. You're
because
not
if something were to
African-American,
happen
though.
and no one heard me or heard me speak, they're gonna assume I was black, regardless.
That's why I said to an
when
extent.
I file my forms, I put black or African American.
Right.
Sure.
So I am part of that representative.
Right,
Sure.
but
Here's my
until
thing.
a white person discriminates against you blatantly like this one, you won't understand.
like which
but
one?
Okay, but continue. Correct. Continue.
You keep saying discriminate and you can't back it up. You
How
cannot.
can I not back it up?
You cannot tell me how you know that Hallway Hillary is a racist.
Okay.
Okay.
All you've seen is a black person and
How
you've
do you
assumed.
know? Okay, how do you know she's not?
if look,
I'm
so
just saying.
okay, so Wale,
If we can't
how do
prove
I know
things,
you're how do I know you're not a rapist?
You don't know.
So
You
why
don't know if I am,
why would
you
I
don't
be
know if
bringing
I'm
it
not.
up?
That's what I'm saying. You
What
don't know
kind
if I'm
how
not.
can you just say,
But
oh,
if a situation presents itself showing that I am, you might tend to.
how
be like,
does
you know,
the situation show that she's a racist?
Okay, let's move.
You cannot make the connection. Someone like saying, "Oh, someone is a mass murderer," and it's, "Oh, so how do you know he's not a mass murderer?" You can't just be random like that and say,
Are
"How
you
do you know he's
serious?
not?" No, you can't.
Okay.
Killed
And
someone.
You need to
Alright.
be able to provide some kind of substantiated evidence.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
This guy just came to argue today.
Seriously,
No, I didn't
you
come
see
to
how you're
argue
even
today.
Shaking, like,
No,
you're
I'm not
so
shaking.
alright,
No, I'm
okay.
not shaking. I
You're not.
feel like we need to start calling out our own biases because I
What
feel like
bias are you
this
calling
this
out?
in itself is part of what is causing a lot of disunity
you see,
within this country.
do you wanna
I
know-
feel like what ends up happening is because we have all these police statistics about black men being disproportionately targeted and all these things, right? There's this
But they
narrative.
are.
Oh, but did you also know that blacks also disproportionately commit more violent crimes?
Okay.
So
But there's okay. Continue.
but you got
Continue,
we have to
continue.
get. I was going to get to the bottom of it because you had mentioned something last week too, Wale. You had mentioned something about police brutality and how only blacks are this and that. And
I never said
I
only
made sure
blacks,
I
no,
made
but,
sure
yeah.
I made sure I went and I brought up the stats.
I never said only blacks.
I made
but
su-
I said blacks are more likely.
So-
I'm more
so-
threatening than the white guy.
So
we were
so
talking
here are
to
some
earlier.
statistics, right? Black people are more likely to get targeted by cops.
Of course.
Black people are more likely to get killed by cops.
Of course.
Right? And I think it's by like between 2 to 3%. Sorry, between 2 to 3 times more likely
Okay.
to get killed by
That's
cops.
a lot more times.
Yes. Black peeps, we make up 28% of peeps that are killed, or black peeps that are killed, right? 28%, and we're 13% of the population.
That's a lot.
Yes, but
Mm-hmm.
do you know what the statistical makeup of violent crimes that get committed?
What's more black people
It's about a little less than half.
of black people commit crime?
Yes, violent crimes.
Where do you live? Have you seen this Baltimore City outside that we're looking at?
Yes.
People who grew up in these conditions, what do you expect from them? Compared to people who grew up in Owensville.
Oh,
what
so
do you
you're saying it
expect
has
from
nothing
them?
to do with
I'm
choices?
just telling you, people
Are
make
you saying it
choices.
has
Some people,
nothing
this
to do
guy,
with
you grew
choices?
up in a family. You grew up with a dad. You grew up with a
Yeah,
mom. You
yeah.
grew up. You grew up
Corey
in.
is
You
talking
grew
from an
up.
area of,
Yeah.
of
Do you
privilege.
notice that a lot of
So
these
we're
people,
getting to it. We're getting to it.
so
Continue.
whose fault is it? Do you know a lot of this.
Whose fault is what?
Corey, do you know how
Like
many
there are enough
boarded
factors
houses are down the street from
like
here?
contributing to all these things.
Yeah, there
but
are
okay.
factors, and
Anyway.
there's
And
always
this is where we
decision
get
to
back to
make.
the family.
But it's the same way. It's the same way. The same way in Nigeria, a lot of people run. A lot of these youths are going into 419,
Yes.
because
Choices are limited.
choices are limited to some
Choices
of them.
are
Some of them, so they feel like, dude, I've struggled, I've worked, I've gone to school. I come out, the only job I'm finding is paying me $100 a month. Meanwhile, this nigga ain't even do shit. He's making 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 a month from doing fraud. Fuck that, I'm going to do fraud.
But do you also admit that
it's not right?
But do you also admit that in some cases it's also just poor choices?
Yeti's favorite word, you're conditioned, right? Is that the word you like to
Oh, wait, you're saying you're conditioned to do
some people, if you grew up in crime, use what you know. Corey, you went to a system that people, you're in college in America, you went to college in America because the system you're in, everybody went to, finished all 3 forms of education and got a job. That's the system I know.
Okay.
So I'm following what I know.
So what do you think are factors that can help this whole this issue?
First of all, people need to they need to stop promoting this lifestyle of crime pays. You need to have better institutions in the hood to prevent job is not even
in the hood. Look at the schools in
Baltimore. You do know that there's like a I think it's like a 60-something year history of like unemployment, like record low unemployment.
Corey. The mindset, a human mindset, is very funny.
Okay.
When your mind is stuck on something, we have it from all angles. We have it from quote unquote racist. Sometimes I always feel like it's not really their fault. It's what they know. You understand? Until you find, it's the same way I felt, growing up in Nigeria about gay people, and I came to the States and I was like, maybe I thought wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, my mindset is what it is. Now, if you have someone's mindset stuck on one way, everybody they've seen that has left the hood did crime. Everybody they've seen that is successful that they know did crime. All their male role models are in jail. Everybody that could be in their life are in jail. Everybody that, and they're seeing people around them dying. They're going to arm themselves. They're going to do all this. So find a better way to connect with, like, to change their mindset. It's the mind. The mind is very powerful. Find a way to make them understand.
I agree with you to a large extent.
Help them out. We drive around, even me, driving around Baltimore sometimes, I got to make sure my door is locked. I'm not going to stop in some areas out here because it's like, dude, I'm not even safe.
And I think we're getting to the same place. I feel like, me personally, the biggest factors are education.
Yes, education. Yes, that's the main thing. Education, and it's everywhere in the world.
Let me finish. Education, family.
Yes.
Family values.
Yes.
I feel like those are huge factors, and you're right. I feel like we need to address that too.
Yes.
To be able to get to certain places, but you see, and this is why I keep saying that we need to expand the conversation. When we just make it about, when we pit just one side against the other side, I feel like it causes more disunity. And I feel like for so long we've been talking so much about what one side is doing without really trying to like expand the conversation and understand, okay, what are the other factors that are playing into these? We understand that, yes, there's something wrong about when a black man is always targeted. We need to do something about that. But we also have to understand that, given the context of how difficult police jobs are, policemen get assaulted too at record rates.
When you finish, I'll tell you. Policemen officer in Baltimore
get assaulted to at record rates. And sometimes what they end up doing is they end up hiring people that aren't really qualified. There's a lot of I was listening.
No, yes. Go on.
Whose fault is that?
No, go on. Yes, go on.
It's a
Go
hard job.
Go on.
There's times that they end up not, but that you can't blame that as the reason for all these other things happening. But my point, the point I'm just trying to make is that, what ends up happening is because of higher crime rates, there's more interactions within black communities. That's just a reality.
It is.
So when we take stats, or when we nitpick at stats and we say, oh, a black man is more likely to get killed, it's almost like when we do that, we're framing this narrative like, oh, it's only because that they're black that they're being targeted to get killed. When no, there are other underlying factors. But you see, when you talk about it, you frame it in a racist narrative.
Corey,
that's what you're doing.
Corey, here's the thing.
You're doing
it. You've never, I would assume you've never sold dope before. You've never done anything. But if you get pulled over in this Baltimore, but if you get pulled over in this, okay, so let me ask a conversation I had with a police officer. I spoke with a police officer in a white guy actually one time, like 2 years ago. And I was asking him why he joined the police, because he went to school for something else. And he said because he was tired of people coming from out of town, joining the police force and killing people that he grew up with. That it feels like someone who grew up in the community, you're more lenient towards people you grew up with. And that that's why the culture, you understand some of the struggles people went. So, but he said, but then some people too are not helping themselves. And he said the court too is not helping themselves. I said, what happened? He said recently someone one of his partners discharged his weapon at a black male. And obviously it's even for them, it's not good because you get put on leave. Sometimes you don't get paid for months and stuff like that. And I said, what happened? He said, unfortunately, the guy had been arrested about 3 times for gun possession and
assault or something.
Illegal carrying marijuana, whatever.
Possession.
And he was out on bail the 3rd time in like a month or so. And it was like, why aren't these judges even keeping them? At least let him pay. Like, dude, you did the crime. Do the time. But like, unfortunately, it was like, it might sound wrong, but this guy was out freely. So like, every time he gets arrested, he knows I'll post bail and go. So they saw him again. They know him as this guy. So they put up again to him like, hey, guy, you're back out. What's good? You had a gun again with him. Illegal gun. So he started running. The partner, this is a story he said, the partner ran after him. They pulled a corner. This guy pulled his gun. The partner had to shoot. And, he said it hurt him so much because it was like, man, I knew that guy. But
so he killed him?
The partner, I don't know if he killed the guy. I think he did or whatever. But what he was saying was, there are two sides to it. Officers, and he was like, he even said something. I said, okay, I heard stories about like, they said they reached for the gun. And he said, that's bullshit. He said, dude, if I show you my gun in my harness, even if you knock me out, you can't take out my gun. Because that thing, it's locked in. There's a specific way to remove only one way they can take it out. That he said they train that day in, day out, that he knows how to remove his gun in a second, but I might struggle with it for 2 hours. So he said that is actually, first of all, bullshit. That the whole he reached for my gun, as long as it's in your harness, he said they can most likely not take it out. So what's happening?
But police officers are told that if they reach,
sure,
you're allowed to shoot.
You're allowed to shoot.
Like,
but that's the thing he was trying to say too, is that you can also use your judgment. But then you now have this situation of this kid who was out on bail 3 times and he's still carrying guns and he's trying to shoot an officer. So what happens now is that police officer who, quote unquote, that was his last resort, he's also going to be scared when he sees another black guy next time, because I see police
cops who have PTSD.
Yeah, they have. Yes, I feel for them sometimes, because I'm like, yeah. But the thing is that you also have to you can't carry that aggression or that fear
on
towards
else.
me.
Exactly.
And I think that,
do you understand? And that's another problem.
I think that's where the standards for them have to be a little bit higher.
Yeah,
and give them actual
I drive sometimes. I drive, and if I have my hoodie off, I take it off.
They don't get treatment.
My hood, just because I'm like, I don't want any. And I've met cops that are nice. I've met cops that I was texting and driving.
I have a cop in
they
my family,
flagged me down and said, hey, don't do that. I've met cops who ran my tag and said, hey, you actually have to do your inspection. There's another officer in front. Watch out, take it right. And I've met them like that. So
definitely.
not all cops, but I've met cops who.
It's the bad ones.
I met a cop who pulled me over. There were 6 cars behind me, enticing by the circle. And it was one of the female officers who came to. I just started giving the guy Nigeria accent. I said I just came from Nigeria, this, that. And it was like, I don't know how you guys do in Nigeria, but in this, I said, sorry, sir. And then there was the lady behind me who kind of told him that I think it's foreign. And then he came to tell me I was going to ruin your day, but and I was like, God damn, like you really could tell me that.
But anyway, I just want to say, look, sometimes I know sometimes it comes across like I'm always trying to play devil's advocate, but I think my own thing is really more about expanding the conversation and having more substantive conversations, because I feel a lot of times it just ends up being, we blame it on racist, and there are racist cops, I'm sure, but I feel like blaming everything on racist cops sometimes can just be it can be emotionally satisfying. It's almost like we get that, oh yeah, it's because of that, when we're not opening up the conversation to all the other different factors, like the fact that there are already high crime rates to begin with within a lot of our neighborhoods.
Right,
yes.
Right. But also, it's not the police job to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, but also some of these police officers, they militarize them, they train them, and
right.
I know that sometimes you want to use your training.
Did you know that?
So that's another problem.
That minority cops are actually, they're more likely to shoot.
Okay.
So
it's not about white cops or it's cops.
And that's why sometimes, and that's why I feel like,
I never say it's white cop or black cop.
Like sometimes it's really about some of it is training.
It's training, yes.
Because look at the cops. Most of the cops from Freddie Gray were all most minorities. Yeah. They weren't. A lot of them were white. Right. So it's not black or white cops. It's cops. That's right. They need better training.
And all I'm asking is just for us not to reduce the argument to just about racism.
I have a personal cop thing. Someone I know personally actually decided he was a chemical engineer. He left his job to become a cop. And you know how long it took him to become a cop? Because he was too smart. Like, they broke him down. He got stopped. He stopped somebody and he was going to talk him down. He was still during his probationary period. He talked the guy. He was calm. He handled it the way he thought he should handle it. He got dinged for it because they said he was too calm. He wasn't forceful enough. Why do I have to be forceful?
Well, because
Like, that's crazy.
because
No,
sometimes it's just the nature of the job.
But they tell you to use your judgment,
No, but
right?
you have to
Why
judge.
can't he?
Yeah, but you know they come across violent criminals all
But,
the time too.
but he saw this dude. He didn't recognize him, but he saw something in him that he was like, okay, this kid was a chill kid. He was not going to cause me trouble. But his supervisor thought he was too chill with the kid. Why can't he be chill with a kid that he saw that wasn't going to pose any threats or anything and let him go in his merry way? He got dinged for that. That's what I'm saying. The training they give them is terrible. It's terrible.
But there are reasons. But there are reasons for why they want you to apply.
And this dude
extra
can be
force.
forceful
This
when
is
he
Olokpa we're
needs
talking
to
about
be
here.
forceful. He
they-
can be
they-
forceful.
They kind of have
though.
to
But you have
be
to
a
do
little bit
case by
forceful.
case basis. There's no reason you should be body slamming a 12-year-old girl
by
in
the
her
way,
bathing suit.
by the way, I don't know if I told you, but I've been a victim of police brutality too.
Right.
I don't know. Did you know about it?
Taser.
In Towson,
I know.
I got out of a party. I saw them whooping on this black dude.
Into Dolo Fofo.
I got pissed. No, I got pissed because it wasn't just normal. They pretty
Said
much
the end
like
of the
5
story,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I
know
think,
the-
but no,
right,
but
we
part
know
of
the
their
story.
tactics is
What
it's
they
almost
do to
like
you?
siege.
What
No,
they
let
do
me
to you?
finish. It's almost like siege. They see any kind of dissension, they want to quickly tap it down because they don't want it to
Escalate. Right.
Escalate, yes, that's
So a
true.
lot of it is their way of de-escalating
De-escalating,
things.
yes.
But-
Sometimes they apply extra
Too
force.
much
Yes, so
force.
what
You know what they
right.
did to me, and this is why I feel like I can. So when you say, "Oh, because you're not black,"
What
and
they
I'm
do
looking
to
at you like,
you.
But you're not. Still.
I've been a victim
Okay.
What they do
of
to
brutality
you?
Okay.
too. So
Okay.
this affects
Tell
me
them
just
what
as
they
much.
did to you
Okay.
now.
And I saw this kid, this dude, Niger dude. It was a Niger party. We all got out. We all buzzed and everything, and they were whooping on him. And all Africans now, they just looked away. Africans are assholes, man.
No,
Everyone was just walking away.
Self-preservation. It's called
Niggas are here on
self-preservation.
F1
I was
visa,
the
you want
only
them-
one.
Niggas are here on
And you know
international
me now,
students.
and
You
that's
want
why
them to
whenever you
fight.
guys preach to me about all these things, I'm like,
Go on.
I used to be on the forefront of these
Right.
these things.
Forefront.
I was the only one
Uh-huh.
because I saw that's my Nigerian brother, man. He ain't do nothing but just talk shit from afar.
Probably taste his ass.
You know what I'm saying? And the minute I started talking, I guess they figured, oh, this is about to spread. This was in Towson. Yo, 6 of them
Yes.
whooped my ass. I was on the ground, kicked me. I was on the ground, right? Chest down, right? My hands tied behind my back. They were like, you know what? Let's tase his
That's good.
ass.
Taste his ass.
They tased me. They tased me, bro.
How did it feel?
Oh, it was painful. I was like, I was.
Unfortunately,
I
some
was
kid just died. Some
shouting.
Nigerian boy just died in California
'Cause of the taste,
Been tased. Yeah,
They
some
tased
evil
me,
boy.
and it wasn't once.
Yeah,
twice.
They do it too much. Also,
Twice.
This kid
So,
died.
You know,
a
we
father
do
of a
They
3-year-old
apply
boy.
excessive force for
A
sure.
girl.
how
And
did they
and
arrest
guess
you?
and guess what,
Did
right?
they arrest you?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't be saying this, but I got arrested.
You have a record.
No, let me finish now. Bruh, I got arrested. First of all, I ended up. They first took me to the hospital. They treated, make sure I was
They take
okay.
that nice detention center in Towson.
Yeah. Well, it's not that nice.
On the outside, it's nice.
It's not that
with
nice.
The glass and stuff on the
It's
outside.
not that nice. They took me to the hospital. They made sure I was
I was
okay.
wondering what it looked like
I mean, they had
inside.
tased me twice. I was pissed. They took me back. I spent the night in jail. They charged me with.
Did you
You're
write-
locked
did you
up.
write-
They
did you
won't
write any
let you
bars?
out.
They charged me. They charged me with felony.
Where's the
No,
mixtape coming out, bro?
they charged me with disorderly conduct. They claimed I was trying to kick them on the ground while my chest
Yeah, they always come up
was
with
on the
stories.
ground.
Right.
And then I was kicking and I was pretty much telling me like all these stupid trumped up charges. Anyway, it went to court. I tried to get Niger witnesses. No one showed up. And that's how you know, because I guess
No, but this guy, let me tell
niggas
you.
afraid
but,
of
no,
people
but
afraid of
deportation. Now.
deportation.
Yes, now. Niggas-
Niger people didn't show up.
You want to go
We
and
had
tell
to-
them
my lawyer had to subpoena
You that
one
have
of them
posted-
to make sure he showed up. And I think so. So what ended up happening was they probably didn't realize that I'm also privileged to an extent to come from a family
You think?
where I can afford a lawyer. I can afford all these things. And that played a very big role, because if I didn't have any lawyer, if I didn't have anything, I'll have done
public
time.
defendant to
Yes.
I would have ended up in jail.
Yes.
But I didn't, because I happened to have a good lawyer, and that's where the whole
You have
sentencing.
money.
I remember when I was telling you, Yeti, that the biggest factor in terms of sentencing in in terms of sentencing in the criminal system is lawyer, and you
I didn't disagree.
You argue with me.
Correct.
You said it's racism.
It's
and this
a
is
factor.
where
It is correct.
what?
A black person in the hood does not most likely does not have money to
but
afford
that's-
a lawyer
that's
that you
not
got.
That's socio-economic.
Yeah, that's not racism.
Well, it's
though.
part of
That's
it though. It's
socioeconomic.
part of it.
Yeah,
Who
that's
are
not
the
racism,
poorest
yeah.
for the most
But
part?
anyway,
Like,
that's
come on.
my police brutality.
Well, you see, why
story.
would you stay for that? I saw a fight in Towson before, and the cops came, and
You
when I was
walk
like,
your way
I was
out.
looking, I was
What?
looking at
Towson
it.
cops?
They don't play.
fuck
I was
around.
looking at it, and when the cop looked
They
at me, I
don't
said,
fuck
"Hey,
around.
we still got space in the van." I said, "Thank you."
They don't fuck around.
That's
But
it's
you know,
okay.
but I think for
I don't
me
need to enter it.
that exposure was so valuable because it made me realize that if I just happen to not have the resources to get a lawyer and all these other things, dude, I could have been doing time. I would have lost my job. I would have lost
and
my
you'd have come
livelihood.
out,
I would have
and
lost
your mindset would have changed.
I'll have turned
and
to a
you're like,
criminal.
exactly, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I
to
mean, I
these
can't do
people.
jail time. Can you do jail time?
No, I can't do
I'm too. I can't. I'm too soft for jail time. I'm too soft for jail
I
time.
don't think I'll make it out.
I think it even shows in my face.
They'll,
like
they'll,
this
they'll
nigga.
say fresh meat.
Nah,
Come
I
here.
don't,
you
I don't think
some of
I'll
this
make
bitch.
it out of jail because
I ain't doing that.
I would literally want to fight everybody and they'll just shank somebody. So I don't think I will do it.
But I again, you know, I feel like that was a really good discussion. Again, I know sometimes it comes across like I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but it's really more so I want us to really, really delve into it and not.
Yes.
But it's all good. I think we're due for a break. Before we go on, Wale, introduce this for us.
I wish I had a song called Taste His Ass.
We should play Akon Locked Up. That's
You
what
guys
saw
are
that
making
shit.
fun of my trauma.
I'm
Locked Up, the woman you
So this
are.
one-
I'm feeling bullied.
But
right
yeah,
now.
like I mentioned
I'm
last
feeling bullied.
episode, I can't hear myself again. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
so like I mentioned last episode, I'm trying to promote new guys. You know, it's part of my A&R skills. You know, so I came across another guy. His name is SK, and the song is called "Life Is Gucci," like the brand Gucci. And it's featuring another guy called Sona, Sona. So enjoy.
Oh, bite. Oh,
Uh-huh.
go on.
Nah, enjoy it first.
SK anything, yeah. It's your boy. Designer Lomo, them they call me handsome Bubba. Take me a picture. Every day I'm lit like Christmas. They really like this style. They say they like this sound. Yeah. The dress sense so wild. Stay cool, never move loud. Yeah. Inside party we spray dollars. See fine baby, take number. Loving money be your $10. Just pop dollar. See me, see a house dollar. SKD and Sanama. This one be like play, they like this one. Oh, what they be liking this style, them are retro. Yeah, they want more. DJ, we lit up cause we got too much sauce. Yeah. And if you liking this vibe, and the bass, so it's okay to go my leg. It's okay. Yeah. Life is Gucci, I'm okay. Life's a movie, oh, yeah. Bring the bubble, oh, yeah. Hey, darling. Life is Gucci, I'm okay. Life's a movie. It's your boy, Sona. Bring the bubble,
Life is Gucci over here. Life's a movie, Step in Gucci, I'm a game. Just to watch a movie, I'm a game. That's just how I live my life. See for your eye, you wanna dip by my side. Okay, because I'm feeling your style. You be my Gucci girl and I'll be your guy. Gucci gang. We don't enter OC swagger. And we not have time for the bad mind. And we not send them all their father. Gucci gang. We don't enter OC swagger. And we not have time for the bad mind. And we not send them all their father.
They be liking this style, them are retro. Yeah, they want more. DJ, we lit up cause we got too much sauce. Yeah. And if you liking this vibe, I the bass, so it's okay to come on there. It's okay. Yeah. Life is Gucci, I'm okay. Life's a movie, oh, yeah. Bring the bubble, oh, yeah. Now, darling, don't shake me. Life is Gucci, I'm okay.
expensive things, c'est la vie. You know we all so Gucci.
Malafo, Malashe, be your girl. Get down, I know you want to.
You know we rockin' expensive things, c'est la vie. You know we all so Gucci.
Malafo, Malashe, be your girl. Get down, I know you want to.
Life is Gucci, Amage. So yeah, that was
wasn't bad.
Life is Gucci by
So where
SK.
did you find that one?
This guy, I can't be telling where I find my music from, man.
He had his sources.
That Bonjour,
Yeah,
that's a jam.
David,
That's a jam,
David Melly,
man. You remember that song?
What song?
The song we played last
Oh
episode.
yeah.
That's
That
a
was
jam.
good.
I've been listening to it all week.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
What's
way,
your disclaimer?
I want my quick disclaimer. So I was talking about my interaction
Your
with police
criminal record.
brutality. Eventually, the charges got dropped. They ended up putting it on something called STET, STEDT, where like they give, it's like probation, but it's not really probation. They just give you a year, and they say if anything happens within that year, we're gonna bring back up the charges. So it's almost like they put
good
the charges
behavior.
they put the charges in like a microwave, just waiting for you in case you fuck around. Of course, nothing happened. So after a year, it ended up getting expunged from my record because they saw that I am a law-abiding citizen. I had no record, and I've never had any police interactions ever since. All my interactions have actually been really great, and that's just the truth.
Learned your lesson. No
But
activist.
but if I was to do it again, I would still speak up for that guy,
I doubt it.
and I would. I wouldn't.
I mean, you
wouldn't
can
even-
speak up from it. I mean, there's
That was all I did. I didn't
yeah.
launch towards
I mean,
anybody. I was on the other side of the street and I was just shouting like, "What the
Unfortunately,
fuck,
yeah.
man? Why you guys
Unfortunately,
whooping his
yeah.
ass?"
You can't.
And 6 of them just came whoop my
Yeah,
ass.
They're hungry for
Yeah.
power
Yes,
and dominance.
it's yep, and that's why I'm saying they need to do psychology
They need to
evaluations
find
on
out to
them more.
de-escalate a situation.
And you know that they don't do drug tests for them in Maryland. Per personal, someone I know that
Really?
yes, he never got drug tested,
Interesting.
which is crazy. Someone that's able
that's
to
crazy.
own a gun and shoot.
Yeah, that's
people.
kind of.
It's crazy. They don't do they don't do drug.
So yeah,
testing. It's crazy.
So we all agree
they
that
don't do drug
know
tests for police officers.
we all
no,
agree
he
that
didn't get any drug testing.
we
done on him.
all agree that there need to be some reforms within our police departments, but there also needs to be some kind of introspection within our black communities too. That I think I don't think you can have one conversation without having the other. But moving on to something lighter, the king of the Yoruba demons.
Can we not malign our king as a Ife person?
The king of the Yoruba
our
demons.
Oni of Ife, please.
Our Oni of Ife. He's got a new bride now. What's her name? Do you know her name?
Shoot, Naomi.
She
don't
like-
like
He has a type, clearly.
obviously,
She's a
Naomi
prophetess.
is a prophetess. Naomi
She's a
Shile
virgin-
Kuala.
Yeah.
That's
She's
her
a
name.
what?
Shile Kuala, that's deep.
Prophetess.
She's a virgin prophetess. Prophetess too bad. If you see her in a prophetess outfit, she doesn't look like no regular prophetess. So like
She's
wears
young.
her-
She's 25.
Yeah, she's pretty young.
What did you expect? She became a prophetess when she was 18. Now she's 25, the same age as his child.
His child is 25.
Yes, he had the girl when he was 19, and he's 44 now.
Word.
So the girl is
So
25.
so this
as
will
well.
be his third mate,
Third wife,
third
yeah.
wife, but second.
on the throne. Actually, third
No,
on the
third
throne.
on the throne
yeah.
because apparently they had issues with another lady too.
Well, no. So his original wife before he became king
Yeah.
is who knows where. I guess they're divorced. Or
Text
we
that
don't know.
hungry, sir.
Huh?
I said I'm hungry.
You're good. And then the first wife was with him at the coronation. Now she was there.
She was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So then, but I guess she didn't want to be Olori, so she left. She lives in Lagos.
Interesting.
And then Zainab came.
Yeah.
I guess we don't know what happened.
Zainab was the one that was like, but I kind of liked her though.
Yeah, she was. I
I
liked her.
I like
cool.
her
She was,
outspokenness.
and she was like with it. She was
She
chic
was.
and
She was.
like she was stylish. And
She but her complexion was a little off though.
I
It was
mean-
a little bleachy, but
who isn't in Nigeria nowadays?
I know there are people that are still on bleaching.
Anyway, so now that one didn't work for some reason. There are a lot of issues supposedly,
Mm-hmm.
rumors. Anyway, that I'm not gonna substantiate, and then
let's talk about it, man. What do you mean? How you gonna just?
I'm not gonna. We don't know if it's true.
Is it the one that said that she used to be a Ron's girl?
No. He knew that before he married her. Duh.
So what about the rumors?
Supposedly, she had issues with his siblings or something. They moved in the palace with him and her. Yeah. His sisters.
Word.
Yeah, supposedly. We don't know how true that is. But anyway.
Huh? That's unfortunate.
So
but now
that
the new...
didn't work, and she didn't get pregnant. Apparently, they said it was fertility issues between both.
Yeah, she didn't get pregnant.
But
you see, here's the
between
thing.
both of them, so we don't know if he's the one that has the issues or she's the one that has the issues.
Someone was speculating on
So,
the thread. That
I think
someone was speculating that they don't even know if this child of his.
Well,
we probably shouldn't go
but fertilities change as you get older. So remember, he was fertile when he was 19.
Yeah.
But as you get older, testosterone drop. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's a normal occurrence for it's biology.
Yeah.
So he's 44 now. Things are probably dropping, and he probably is not getting good swimmers.
Did you hear that testosterone generally across the globe has been dropping amongst men?
Our food. Duh. Same thing with estrogen going up in girls. That's why you have 9-year-old girls growing breasts nowadays.
So what they're putting?
Have you not seen the way the food are processed now? All these hormones in the food.
So they're like
have you not
pussifying
seen
all
how
the guys?
chicken? Really, Corey?
You know what I mean? I don't mean it that way.
No, the chicken is pumped with hormones. That's why they grow a chicken that's supposed to grow in how many months? In 3 months.
So those hormones
affect
contain
our body.
estrogen?
Yes, duh. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, sorry, let me not say duh. It's a thing. It's a known, proven thing now that the food contains more hormone. That's why they tell you to get more organic food than the GMO stuff.
We can't start buying our food from Nigeria now.
Even Nigeria is getting there too, and testosterone drops regardless anyway. That's a biological thing.
But there's don't they have farms where they don't pump them? Don't they have those farms?
That's why you get organic food.
Organic food, right?
Yeah.
But they're so damn expensive.
I mean, well, that's the price you have to pay.
God.
That's just it.
Anywho.
So
but speaking of
supposedly,
marriages, wait, did you have anything else on the Oni?
The girl's she's cute. He has a
cute.
type.
He has a type clearly.
Yeah. So
Clearly.
hopefully she gets pregnant.
Yeah.
I just think she's a little too young, but what am I?
For him, how old is he?
44. You weren't listening to me.
44, 25.
The same age as his child.
That doesn't. She's
doesn't
still
mean
of
it.
age. She's still of age.
Of age, right? But I think she's too
We
young.
accept all love here. Okay, as long as she's of age.
Right. Anyway.
But
I
speaking
think
of
she's too young.
speaking of
Her life experience
marriages
is not
and
as
marriages that
skinny.
didn't work, Diddy and Cassie. So this was a really
That's not
big
a
thing.
marriage. They were dating.
Sorry, not marriage. You know what I mean? Relationships. They started dating when she was 22 or something.
Something like that.
And
They
they
were
dated
together
for
10
11 years.
Oh, it was 11?
Yeah. And they recently broke up.
I think they said she broke it off.
Okay. But they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he had already moved on to some other 25-year-old
What's
chick.
What's
But there was a huge debate online, which I thought was very interesting. And, you had one side saying she wasted all her 20s. She pretty much her fruitful years, 11 years.
Oh, gosh.
She
Really?
wasted
There was a debate about this?
huge. Wale, are you following this thing?
I
Are
am,
you
I
on this
can hear
podcast?
it. Continue, Joe. I'm hungry, but
There was a
continue.
huge debate. Oh, shit. Don't
She
tell me this
wasted
stuff.
her youth?
She didn't waste any.
How did she waste her youth? It
And
wasn't
the
like he
middle
held
is
her
the new babe
hostage.
is 26, not
What?
25.
26?
Who
Okay.
said he didn't hold her hostage? She knew
No,
what
I
she
know.
was doing. She got in
I
a
know.
relationship willingly.
And that's
How is
what
that
and
wasted
that's
youth?
what a lot of the feminists were saying. A lot of feminists were saying, "Oh no, this is actually great. She got what she wanted out of it.
Right.
This one,
she
that
got
one."
exposure. She lived a life of luxury for 10, 11 years.
But
she can move on now to
so I'm not
whatever
gonna
she
I'm not gonna
wants.
speculate on what she wanted or what she didn't want. She very well could have been happy with the arrangement. It's also possible that she might have wanted a marriage too.
But she's always
And
said
that
she
it-
didn't want marriage.
right. She's always said that.
She said it.
So-
and I'll take her word for it.
Exactly. Why not take
Because
her
I have
word
no
for
other
it?
thing to
No
take.
other thing to
And
go
Yeah,
also,
to go by.
she knew from the beginning that he's not gonna marry. He didn't want marriage either, so she knew what she was getting herself into.
Anyway,
So-
I'm just presenting the huge raging debate that was online because there is something to be said about if you're a young person and ultimately you know that you want marriage to be in your future, right? You want to settle down, you want to do this, you want to have kids, all this stuff, right? There's always been this debate about you shouldn't tether yourself to anyone when you're in your 20s.
True, but in this day and age now with technology, she can have her kids well into 40s now.
It's not as common as you make it seem. It's
she's
not.
a rich
You're making it
correct,
seem like it's
correct.
that easy.
Cassie's case, she's a rich person.
We're talking
She
about for
can
the average
afford-
person here.
Even for the average person.
We're talking about for the average person.
Even for the average.
The average person can afford IVF and all these other treatments like that.
Right. But I'm saying her fertility doesn't start declining till like 37, 38. So she still has some time to get married and have kids.
She does.
She hadn't wasted. I don't think she wasted her youth.
But people make the argument that by the time you hit that 30, it's on the decline.
I mean, it is,
and it gets harder and harder.
Right.
I guess my own point isn't even for women, because I'm not about to tell what women. This is for both men and women. And here's just my own stance on it. Is I feel like, when I was growing up, I was always told, sow your wild oats.
You're supposed
do this.
to, right?
No, you don't have to.
Well,
I
advise people to as well.
And I used to do that too. In fact, there was this podcast I was on a few months ago. I regret it now. I was pretty much saying, no, your 20s, you should use it to just fuck around. You should your 20s should be like your whole phase. I used to say things like everyone should have a whole phase. I don't think that necessarily. No.
So
no, I don't.
Do you regret your whole phase?
This is not about me here. This is not about me here.
Right.
Yeti, I'm trying to make a point here. And Wale, please, are you on this podcast?
After you've had your whole phase, now you tell people not to have their whole phase.
No. Who told you I had a whole phase?
Anyway, remember I've known you since how long?
Let me finish what I'm trying to say. This isn't about me.
Right.
The point I'm trying to make here is, if you know that your ultimate goal is to get married, have kids, settle down, don't wait for no whole phase. If you find that person, lock it down. If you find someone, if that's your ultimate goal, because I'm telling you, in this climate, it's even getting harder and harder.
But I feel like if you're meant to marry, you will. I feel like 20s is a time for you to find yourself and
not really.
explore.
No,
and
not necessarily.
I met a guy. I used to work with a guy who got married.
I mean, each person is different.
I used to work with a guy who got married at 19.
I mean,
and
right.
they had they were married for 10 years at the time.
What?
They're still married.
Oh, okay.
And they actually work together too.
Oh, did you know that?
I mean, they're obviously
happy,
outliers, but
no, this isn't an outlier. There's actually a stat to prove it. The people that are the least sexually experienced people that enter marriages, tend to last longer.
Yeah.
Like this, there's a reason why there are these things in place where we try to encourage people. And here's my thing: I'm not here to preach to anyone. Do whatever you want.
That's the best.
But all I'm saying is, but if marriage is your ultimate goal and you want to have kids, lock it down sooner than later. Where's that sound coming from?
Outside now.
Oh, outside.
They have a party outside.
There's some marathon going on outside here in Baltimore. But that's my only thing is, don't buy into this notion that you need to sow your wild oats. To me it's overrated. Let's be honest.
After you've gone through it, let everybody pick what they want to do, Corey. You can't, after you've gone through your phase, not tell somebody not to do the same thing. No.
Who told you this
Corey,
was something that
please.
Was enjoyable to me?
It wasn't?
Not necessarily.
So then why
it
won't
gets
you
harder.
settle down?
I'm telling you, it gets harder. Because here's what I feel happens with every relationship you get, with every dalliance, every relationship, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be friends with benefits, it could be long distance, it could be serious, whatever. With everyone that doesn't work out, it takes an emotional toll on you.
So you
to an extent.
Okay.
The way I liken it is, it's almost like a band-aid almost. And with every relationship, you stick it on, but it doesn't work out and you rip it apart. And every time you do that, rip it apart, stick it back on, rip it apart. And you notice that the adhesive gets harder and harder to stick on. And I think what ends up happening is we go through these cycles.
Blog did you read that from?
We go through these cycles.
I was thinking it too.
We go through these cycles. I actually did get that from a blog. But we go through these cycles and we end up taking these baggage along with us into these new relationships. And it gets that much harder. And that's why if you notice,
they tell you to don't jump from one relationship to another. You settle after your relationship. Take time for yourself. Figure out why that one didn't work, and learn from it, and then move on. I feel like there's much to say for maturity too. I want you to be more mature when I'm getting in a relationship with you. I don't want to deal with the 20-something-year-old. 20-something-year-old me was definitely not ready for a new marriage at all. I want you to grow as a person first.
A lot
know
of
what
20-something
you
year
want.
olds used to get married, and it
I mean,
worked out
yeah,
fine.
and that's what I'm saying. Each person's
But
different. I'm saying each person's different, but there's something to be said for maturity as well. Like, I want you to be more mature, know what life is about first before you get into a relationship with somebody else. You're bringing a whole lot of crap
But you
into a
can,
relationship with somebody else.
you'll admit that you can figure out life with your partner.
I mean,
right?
yeah, you can.
Is it mature or mature? I heard it 2 ways before.
It depends
Sorry, I'm
on
just
how
messing
you want to
around.
say it,
Go
I
on.
guess.
Okay.
Mature. I've heard mature
Yeah,
too, but
okay, go on, go
I
on.
say mature. But yeah, I feel like learn yourself first before you decide to come together with another person. I mean, if you can figure it out together, that's great.
I think you
but-
can. Well, why can't you? That's my thing. I don't know why we can't figure it out by ourselves. And
And marriage is not for everyone. Not everyone wants to get married. What about those people?
that's why I exclude this for people that do want to get married. I'm
Okay.
telling you, lock it down as soon. Don't tell yourself that you want to enjoy your 20s, because what ends up happening is, you know what ends up happening, and I see it a lot. You know, you wait to your 30s, and then you become so hardened in your ways that it's hard for you. How
true.
it's that much harder for you to bend, for your character to bend in your 30s.
Well, but if you want a successful relationship, you have to compromise.
But it's that much harder to
I mean,
compromise.
well,
That's just the truth.
if it's worth it for you, you
And that's
will.
why some people get in their 30s, and then they finally decide, oh, now I want to settle down, right? Mm-hmm. And then they can't get any luck, because they're so stuck in their ways.
Because they don't want to make it work, though. If you want to make it work, you do what you have to do to make it work.
I think
You
I think
will
the better
do
message
what you
is
have to do to make
is
it
to
work.
work on yourself as soon as possible. Don't give yourself this artificial time frame where you want to. No, the key is to get as much life experiences. Yes, I get it. You want, but it's not necessarily to get as much sexual experiences before you eventually want to.
It doesn't have to do something sexual. I'm saying life experience, learning about yourself, what you want, what you don't want. You don't have to have a lot of virgins that don't marry till later. That's a thing. It's not about sexual. I'm not talking about sexual at all. I'm talking about you as an individual.
Yeah, but there's
maturity,
this,
your
but
mental-
I'm speaking in regards to the whole just hold around and do whatever. I think for
don't know.
both male and women, that's not something that you should ascribe to.
Why not?
Because it's not
their
it's
body.
Not,
What they can do, whatever they want with their body.
I'm saying from my perspective, I just don't think it's something that you should ascribe to. Of course, anyone can do whatever they want to do. You keep saying, oh, they can do what they want to do, but you see, this is the problem. We keep talking out the both sides of the mouth. You say, oh yeah, you do the whole phase, but then when you want something meaningful and you want like something long lasting, right? And you've gone through all these different failed relationships or whatever. What I'm saying is it gets that much harder to find it. That's just from my perspective. I'm not saying you have to. That's just my own.
That's what worked for you.
It's not what
Well,
worked for me. I feel
no.
like this is what applies to.
No, there's some
It
people
didn't work
that
for
there's
me
some people that
necessarily.
you'll be like, God damn, were you ever even single at any point? There's some people that go from one
And that's what I'm
relationship to another
saying.
relationship
When
to
you're
another
done with one
relationship,
relationship, take some time.
Yeah, so some people
to
they don't mind.
yourself.
They don't. There's
You
no
don't just
rush.
jump.
But some people are scared to be alone too.
Well, that too.
So
There's a
because
lot
of
people
that,
like that. They just
you
jump
know,
from one to
and
another.
like look, to each his own. I see people who get into like a relationship today and like tomorrow you're making it seem like you guys are like the most loving couple. You guys are
When you
married
don't even
for
know the
25
person yet.
years. You're like posting pictures of you guys always kissing. Oh my boo is the best. Look at what boo bought from me. Like
They're still in the
this is just an
honeymoon phase.
example. Like he could have bought you a bagel. I see a bagel right there, and they're like, "Oh my god, my boo! Your boo could never do that." Like, shut the fuck up. And they
So
do all
what
that
do you
other
guys think
stuff,
about-
and then 2 months later,
It's
all the
done.
pictures they've posted on Instagram,
deleted.
all the videos, it's gone. It's gone, and then you give them another 2 months, and then they're back in the same cycle with another boo who's the best, who your boo could never stand up to.
So
And
what
they
do you
keep
guys
going
think
through
about
that.
posting your relationship online?
You can,
I don't.
you
I
can,
mean,
but
it's
so
just- I don't.
if the problem
Why?
is that when you say you
I don't
can't,
think it's your business. I'm private with my
So
life.
that's what
I
happens.
don't believe it's your business.
so when
People
you
that
say
know me, that need to know.
the problem
how
is
it
that
looks
it depends on who you're in a relationship with. Because if you say no, and the other person, sometimes some people take it as your, especially from a guy's point of view. Because I noticed they never attack babes about this. If babes don't post their guys,
I know why babes do it.
nobody cares. But if a guy doesn't post his girl, it's like you're
ashamed.
You're
ashamed
hiding,
of her,
yeah.
or you don't want the girls to.
You want to hold around.
Let me tell you something. If you post your girlfriend like from or your wife or whatever relationship side piece from now till tomorrow.
And you still want to hoe around, you will.
Yes, it's a
That's not
possibility.
stopping you.
It doesn't even stop the other girls who
Exactly.
want to be.
They will still do what you have to do.
That's on. So it's like I feel like it's down to, you know, who you're with and what you feel. But some people like the he posted me, she posted me. It's great joy. I don't see anything wrong with it, but I do feel like you shouldn't be doing it too quick. I feel like if you guys just start dating today or like this month, I feel like you should just, you know, you can be posting them like when you guys are out on dates and stuff like that, but like just hold off because it leaves a lasting impression. Because the day, and then people are always waiting for you to fail. So the day you guys break up, everybody's like, that's why people be like, how's that your boyfriend? So, do you understand? So when I ever ask you about it, how's that your girlfriend? And then you'll be like, you know, so like, there's nothing wrong with it.
And then you end up having to purge all your pictures.
Then the ones I don't like too, the people I don't like too are the people who, the people I don't like too are the people who like, let's say they get engaged or married and like, every other picture, if not every picture on your social media is you and the significant other. Like
after
you're allowed to have,
or
maybe during the engagement period, you're allowed to have a life of your own. You know that. And like I'm not following. I don't care about your significant other because that's not the person I know. But if I'm coming on social media and all I'm seeing is the person, and you know, but like I understand, you know, but it's like. Do you have you're free to have a life. Let them also have it. I feel like sometimes people choke their partners, you know.
I agree with that.
You know, it's like, and then especially when I go on one page where the girls all had 20 pictures, is her and her fiance or husband or boyfriend, and then I go on his page and it's like, she ain't even there.
Right.
You know, it's like, obviously two different type of people, but or the ones I've seen ones where they were snapping them, like, look at Boo, and then the guy looks so frustrated, like, how far you now?
Stop?
Like, can you stop? You know, it doesn't mean he doesn't like you, but just like
but
that's
he
not
just doesn't want social media. And then people who have the joint, I've seen
the joints, but
I'm like, really?
all that is still fine. The worst one and the most stupid one is the girls who post their significant others and use an emoji to hide their face.
Why do you
That
do
is the
that?
most stupid shit ever. It's like, I want to show you that I have a boyfriend, but I don't want you to know he's like that. What's the point? What's the point? If I know whatever, like if I was ever the guy in that situation, I'll leave that person. Why using emojis to cover my face?
Just don't show him.
They don't show him,
That's
yeah.
the
You know,
point.
so that's the one I think is the
understood
most stupid. But it's look, if you want to show. If you don't want to show, don't show. It's just the only thing is that if it doesn't work out, it leaves the last thing you gotta purge, and that purge people notice. When somebody has 25 pictures and then you notice tomorrow they have only 2, you know, you kind of notice that what's going on here, you know. So that's the only thing.
I only recently got comfortable even posting my personal
you know,
stuff.
it's person, no, just in all aspects of life, you know, even just chill. I just post. I usually like
You
to
don't
post
have any. I've never
my
seen
turn
it.
up.
Really?
Yeah.
I like to post my turn up
That's
moves.
the thing. It's not a conscious thing, but just he doesn't like pictures anyway.
I would like to. I post more stories. It's something that goes after 24 hours.
Yeah, me too. I'm
you
more
know,
comfortable
I'm
posting
you know,
there.
it's because it's just like it's a story. You know, I don't. Just sometimes you don't want to put people like if you notice even my regular Instagram pictures, they're not usually like you can't really take anything out of it apart from just a picture of me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because you don't really want to put your life out there.
Right.
That lasts forever, you know.
He doesn't even have social media until this year. I just made him get. He didn't. He doesn't care about all that. He's like, okay.
But you know, but social media, hey, you guys make it work however you want.
Social media. I mean, I feel social media is a hell of a drug, Sha.
It is. It paints.
I feel like people go there for a lot of validation.
Yes.
And
Likes
the minute
and all
you
that.
start getting your 100,000s of likes, you get addicted to it. You get hooked on that thing.
Oh, did you see the
And you
Chris
start
Rock
trying to do
picture that he
things-
posted
Which one?
of him smoking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat? And he's like, it keeps calling me, man. Then he wrote the new crack and even more addictive. Social
is.
media is more addictive cause you think you need it, even though crack is tasty. You know you don't need it. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, social media it's people, it's validation, and sure, you know, it's you. Some people need it, some people don't. It is what it is. But I don't judge social media as how much somebody loves you or doesn't love you.
That doesn't
That's
mean anything.
the only stance I have.
They can
but
post everything and still
you know,
be cheating on you and everything. So.
that's my stance on it. But when you say that, it's like, what are you trying to say? So I just, you know, if I say post my picture, I'll post your picture. It's just because it's like, look, I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to fight.
But let's go back to this Cassie and Didi thing, right? Because I know, we had talked about how there's pressure in Nigerian communities to get married. So I guess my question is, how Because I feel like there has to be a balance. I know why there's pressure to get married, because most of us do want to get married. A lot of us.
It's if you don't even want to get married, Nigerians are like, are you okay? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's only when you're in America that it's like not everyone needs to get married, or even kids. A lot of Americans.
But let's
don't even want
imagine
kids,
a
but
world, right? But let's imagine.
Africans, like, what?
But let's imagine a world, right? Let's just hypothetically. Let's imagine a world where everyone just decided that, you know what, I'm not even really interested in getting married, having kids.
That's fine.
You know, like eventually the humankind will die out, right? If
But there will
everyone took
always
that.
be people that want to get married, though.
So that's why we still need
It's
to
a balance.
encourage people to want to continue.
Why do we need to encourage?
Do whatever you want to do.
Right,
man.
like
I
do you?
left to me. I don't want to say this out loud, but left to me, I'm fine with like just cohabitating, man.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like marriage is just, I don't know. Don't let me dig myself inside a hole.
No. Let's talk about it.
feel-
You see that kind of conversation that I like having.
I feel
you know,
like
within.
marriage is, the wedding especially is for the bride.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what we're
for the
saying.
family. Actually, it's
For
not
the
for
bride.
the
I just
For the
came
bride.
from I was a groomsman. By the way, if you want to hire me as a groomsman, because Black James Bond, that's I kill that talks, man. But it's, from everything I saw, everything was worked towards the bride and her family. Like the groom's family, they didn't even send. Like they didn't. The whole ceremony was just for them and her friends and the people. So now for me, I'm like, what is the point of the ceremony?
It's to get everyone
It's to
together.
celebrate.
To
It's
celebrate,
mix the
yeah.
family.
I don't.
That's how originally.
I feel like we don't need that ceremony to
I feel
mix.
a celebration is more due after you've done years into that
You know,
marriage.
like a
5,
10-year
10
anniversary,
years.
a 20. So
Yeah, I feel like
And-
the way we celebrate weddings is almost like we're getting
supposed to be
ahead
a
of
and then what I've
union
realized,
of families
what I've
coming
realized is that
together.
some people,
I guess that too.
some people marry to celebrate. They don't celebrate because they're married.
That's a good point.
Oh
That's a
shit!
good
I need to
point.
write that down somewhere.
That's a good point.
I'll
Some
say it
people get
again. Some
married
people
to
get married to
celebrate.
celebrate. And yeah. Thank you for the pen. I'm gonna write it down.
But let me. I want to
But
get.
yeah.
I want to get back to that. Your point. You said you don't think marriage is necessary.
What is, because we could go to court.
But then, would you eventually like to have kids?
Yes. Do we need marriage?
But
You don't need
you,
marriage
no,
to
but
have
we
kids.
can.
no, you don't need
Marriage
marriage
is
to
for
have
the-
kids. But
yeah.
you do know that. You're able to. You remember we were talking about family values earlier,
Yeah.
right? You do know that statistics do prove that children that come from like loving.
And they
Like,
can still be
But how we not
loving,
loving if
that
we're
doesn't mean
cohabitating for
married.
years?
Right. You can still be loving and not be married.
And worst case scenario, I can say let's go to court.
Right. Like you don't need
okay,
the actual
so your
marriage.
own is more about
But
the wedding.
I feel like just that I feel like
The
the
paper.
paperwork is just paperwork.
It's the
It
government.
doesn't.
It's
It
for the
government. It doesn't mean
basically.
anything to me. It doesn't mean.
I don't
maybe
love
shouldn't-
you.
Maybe
No,
I
but
shouldn't say it
legally-
doesn't mean anything.
but legally
it's
it
legally
does.
binding. Yes,
Legally it does.
But it doesn't stand that
I don't love
I don't love you.
Okay.
I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to leave you. That paper doesn't mean all that. That paper just means that when I do all that, we have to go through stress.
I feel like the paper is like an insurance policy, and I agree with
It's
you.
an insurance
I
policy
used
that
to
you
be
can
like
break.
that.
You can
I used
break,
to be
though.
like that, where I used to say, look, if you and I can have an agreement, we know we love each other. Why do we need all the other fairity? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But then as I got older, I started to understand why. There's something about when it's legally binding and it's recognized by the law. Certain laws apply to married couples that don't apply to people that are
cohabitating.
cohabitating.
So due to that fact, that's why I say I would be
Go to court.
able
Yeah.
to go to court just because. But
Okay, so you do believe in unions then? You believe in
I believe in being together, but I believe that a reason I'm going to court is because there's some,
legal benefits.
not just benefit, but legal binding situations where, like you said,
Hospital even like
stuff like that. You
stuff
want
like
to be
that.
legally, and then you guys want to know that you're at least in the law, eye of the line. You said that when there's a document signed that is binding, sometimes you uphold that even more than some of your other values. But why should it be that way?
it's like an
Why should
insurance
it's
policy.
like why should I
It
be
really is
scared
like an insurance
of?
policy.
I don't want to do this because I don't want to go through the divorce process and she gets 50%. Why shouldn't I just say I don't want to do this because I love her? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
that's my own take on it. Is like if two people love them, God damn it, there's a big bug on my mic.
Yeah.
So that's
How about you, Yeti? So if you, let's say your significant other decided that, why do we need this marriage thing, man? Why do we need this wedding thing? Why can't we just do our own thing? How do you?
you don't want to tell a
Luckily,
girl
he
that.
doesn't.
though.
No. Luckily, he doesn't feel that way. He wants to get married too. I want to get married, but I'm not in a rush to. We'll get there when we get there.
But
Like we'll go to. I feel like if it was up to me, which I know it's not, my mother would kill me. Let's just go to court and just be done with it. But my mother doesn't agree with that.
So like you would actually do without the white
Yes.
wedding?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's a
But-
first. That's not very common among a lot of Nigerian
yeah.
girls that
So
I know.
let's address that white wedding thing. Here's the problem. First of all, I no shade at anybody because a lot of people
When
fall
you
under.
said no shade.
No, because
there's
like I'm
shade
thinking of the
coming.
things I'm about to say, and I know some people fall under the category. And I don't want to be seen like a hypocrite. You know, I just came from a wedding. And my guy got married to they were actually dating in high school. They took a break and then they got back together. And this is the first time I've seen that people who did in high school. And it was very wonderful. One of the groomsmen behind me was crying.
Aw.
You know, I'm sure he's gonna go propose to his girlfriend when he gets home. You know, it was touching. It got me even thinking about marriage, thinking, man, maybe I should set a date for next week. You know, it was a good vibe. But yeah, because I was like, wow, this feels good, you know. But what I did notice is there's a lot of attention. It's a lot of attention you get. So first of all, we start with like the hashtags. You know, people already, people that have never married, they only know their hashtags. You know, and then it's all about you. It's like the day I was saying the other day about that silly girl who was talking about this. She didn't kneel down, blah, and she tweeted something about, oh, when are we going to stop this thing when men, you know, validation. Men try to what's that word we used to use for when the men is
Male patriarchy.
that's the reason why
Validation.
women that they don't do this to single women. But you do understand, like I was telling you guys, that it's women who do this to themselves. When a woman posts a picture that she's engaged, she could have 500 followers and post a picture every day of the week and be averaging 20 likes. But the day she posts that ring, she's getting
It's a
like
celebration
1,000
now.
likes. All the girls
like
that have not
babies
spoken to
too.
her in years are saying, oh my God, my girl just got married, blah, blah. So you get that initial
It's the
attention.
same
That's
thing
that
with
validation.
kids.
You have
They
validation,
babies.
and the funny thing is, you're not getting that validation from guys just to address that. You're getting it from other women like you. Women who are even married sometimes look down on single women and say, "Oh, you're not
Yeah.
married, you don't understand." So, yeah, so you did have that validation for your peers and fellow women. Number one, number two, you get the attention. You get carried on Bella Naija. You get carried on Shade Room. You get carried whoever, depends on who you are, and you have people coming to you. So a lot of people love that attention. A lot of people love it, and that's why
They're hooked on it.
they look forward to that.
Yeah.
I used to know a girl one time that used to tell me, this year I'm getting married. I'm like, you're single, nigga. How you gonna get married this year? But finally she
People
got
calling
are already
it
thinking
now.
about
yeah, but
wedding.
finally like 4 years
Prophesying.
later, she finally did get married. I saw her pictures on online and I sent her a message. I said, congratulations, you finally did it. You know, but you know, she seemed so excited and I felt I just hope you're married for love.
Yeah.
Not because of this day, because I look at your Instagram and in like a year you haven't posted anything, but then bam, all of a sudden comes this pre-wedding shoot. All of a sudden comes
Bam,
this,
bam,
you know,
bam.
bam. You know, all these girls that post
You know, some people
every
have
picture.
actually saved up for their weddings
Yeah,
already.
all these pictures
Without
of
having met.
Yes.
all these pictures of
Some people go
engagement.
dress shopping without
Hold on
having
now,
a
they put
husband or boyfriend or
engagement
anything.
ring. Every
That's a
picture
bit
she posts,
extreme.
every picture all these girls post that have your engagement ring will show and all that stuff, and it's like cool. That's cool, but. You know, when we were dressing up in the hotel room, a guy came in and he said something. He told the groom, he said, this time tomorrow or next week, all these men who are next to you here, they're gone. It's just you and your wife. And a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
By tomorrow, the day after the wedding, we have all left you alone.
Yeah. So
It's down to just
you have to figure it out.
You have to figure it out yourself.
And that's why I feel like
And
we
they
should be
don't.
celebrating unions that have lasted longer.
Which is
because-
why we get a lot of divorce, because after the glam, after everything, you now see who you really are with and realize that.
Well, I feel like
did
you
you hear
shouldn't
that
be-
divorces are plummeting among millennials these days?
Because it's too expensive.
We're too broke,
We're too broke
to get
divorces.
married.
What?
I think it's
too
an indicator
expensive.
of how economically, because back then
Yeah, they would just.
in their 20s
They'd-
they would already be like start getting their houses. We don't have that anymore. Opportunities aren't there like that.
18 like this, they're getting the job.
Yeah.
The man goes to work and gets his wife,
So-
the house, the
So
kids.
apparently now you're seeing more and more people getting married in their 30s.
And that's why they're saying, even they're now senior mothers, they call them.
Yeah.
They're getting,
But yeah,
they're getting
that's not a bad
pregnant
age to
later
get
and
married,
later.
though. Because, like, I mean,
No,
sure.
I think you should try to lock it up as soon as possible.
No,
If you don't
why?
have
That's
money,
the thing.
see,
You're
one of my
rushing-
regrets,
you're
one of my
rushing
regrets is
that
that
you didn't do it as
I
soon as
knew I
possible.
always wanted to be able to play basketball with my kids.
Same here. That's how
You know
I
what I'm
felt
saying?
about
I
soccer.
want to be able to play soccer.
Yes, soccer.
And I don't want to be 40 and going
Yes.
to
Well,
kindergarten.
My
that's why
dad-
you have to.
50 and going to
My dad
you have to
was-
start working out
my
more.
dad
You
was-
saw the marathon people. There were some.
My
old
dad was
people doing
27
it.
years.
I don't
My
wanna
dad is
go into
27
I don't
years older than me, and the bond we have is like that's my best friend
Yes,
right
now.
there. And I used to say when I was his age, I want to have my kids. I've passed it, but I used to feel I want to. But there's a time frame I still feel like I'm still within that I want to
If
reach.
you find it, lock it
but
down.
you cannot. No, but you can't rush into.
Right,
can't
just
rush it.
because
Yeah,
of that.
you can't rush into.
And that's why I keep saying that we
You know,
need to,
even-
we need to get over this whole.
Oh, you need to be a hoe for like a couple of years.
No, you don't have to be a hoe. You don't have
It's
to
not
be a
about
hoe.
being
It's
a
when
hoe.
you're
Right,
ready.
Right, when you're ready.
But
if
ready,
you're not ready
doesn't just come with that. I don't want to be a hoe no more. Like ready
Right.
comes with other factors.
Other
Like ready comes
factors.
with I want to be able to provide
Can you
for
provide? Can you
for my
exactly?
my
Kids are
kids.
expensive.
They're expensive.
Kids
I
are
want to
not
be able.
cheap.
You can.
And when I mean
and your partner
provide,
can figure
but
it
when
out.
I mean
A lot of
provide,
people start
You
out
will
they're both
think.
broke.
Corey,
Corey.
when I mean
They're both
provide,
broke.
Ew.
Corey,
Especially in a country like
And this is
America.
America.
Corey, when I
You
mean
can
when I
figure
mean
it out.
provide, I don't also mean because shout out to my parents. I want to do what they did better than what they did to
Exactly.
me.
Not just
Sure,
bare
even
minimum.
when my dad started, he always said that, dude, you're better than at your age. At the age you are right now, you're better than I was at this age, you know, and I understand. But times are a little
You
different.
see what I'm saying?
But I'm not
times
looking
are
for I'm not
different,
looking
though.
for
And he
my
was in
I'm not looking for
Nigeria.
$1 million, Corey. But I want to make sure that I have a proper paying
Wale,
figure.
Wale, you don't want to be 50 years old and
Correct.
your kids are
No,
still
no, no.
going
What I'm
to
trying to
school.
achieve.
By 50 years old, I want my kids
What I
to be
want to
out of the
what I'm
house.
trying to achieve.
Me and my wife.
What I
we're
want to
chilling,
achieve
we're
can be
traveling all
achieved
over the
very
place.
recent.
I don't
Can
want to
be
be doing
achieved in
any
the
of that
next
stuff.
recent. It can be achieved soon. What I'm
Okay.
trying to achieve. So it's not. So you guys watch out. I'll be sending out the invites soon. Don't worry.
Hey.
Yeah, don't want to send it out. I don't want to give you a date yet. But,
I'm getting you, I'm getting
but
you.
you know, but like it can be achieved. But there are factors to it. You know, just
Yeah.
make sure that I'm able to at least provide. I don't want to call my
Exactly.
father to be
That's-
asking for help.
Fair.
You know, to
Fair.
raise my own child.
Fair.
Even if he did in his own time, I
Fair.
don't want
Fair.
to.
Fair.
You know.
But anyways, we're about to wrap up very soon, but we need to get to the heroes and villains.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been long overdue. And today's heroes and villains is about a gentleman. He's actually a living legend. He's alive. He's going to be our first heroes and villains subject. Bobby Wine. You guys heard of him?
No.
Who's that?
Bobby Wine out of Uganda.
Haven't you done Uganda before? Oh, that was Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, this guy he's a young cat. He was born Robert. I'm gonna butcher this. Robert Kiagulanyi
Oh God.
Sentamu.
So I could even pronounce Sonwolu.
Oni, Abi. You can't pronounce Oni of Ife.
Yeah, of course I could pronounce on here. What are you talking
Right, you
about?
said Oni. Oni.
No, I said Oni. You can replay it
Go
back.
on, go
Right.
on.
You can-
Continue,
rewind it
Corey.
back.
Right.
He was born February 12, 1982. 36 years old. He was born in the Gomba district of Uganda, and he grew up in the slums of Kampala. He was like an artist. You know, he went to school. He studied music in school, music, drama. He ended up in the University of Makerere, but of course, he lived in the slums. He knew people in the slums. He began his music career in 1999, and he then adopted the stage name Bobby Wine. His main music influences were reggae, dancehall, and Afrobeat, and he released his first single called Akagoma. Actually, I was actually gonna play it, but we don't have time. And that single put him on the map. He ended up recording over 70 songs over 15 years, and one of his songs called Kiwanikan was featured in the Disney movie Queen of Katwe. Did anyone ever see that?
I love that movie.
Yeah, he was one of his songs. So he's a pretty big artist.
Yeah, the guy's young. He's just 36.
Yeah, he's young. He was a pretty big artist. That's what I'm saying. Like this one's a really, really interesting one. He also dabbled into movies. He played a few leading roles in some local Ugandan movies. He married his longtime girlfriend, Barbara Itungo, in 2011, and they have 4 kids together. You see how they bang. They got it out of the way.
7 years.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
not a bad
Bobby
time
had
frame.
always been outspoken about political and social issues. As you guys know, they have this one president there, Museveni.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there for like 30 years
Forever.
now.
Isn't that the one that was chilling with Kanye?
Yes, that was the one that was chilling with Kanye. But Bobby Wine actually even criticized Kanye for doing that too.
Kanye was so happy to be next to him. Meanwhile, he was
What did
frowning.
Kanye do to you?
Meanwhile, he was frowning when he was next to the wife or something.
Shit, you-
He felt it was that word he used. Is it emasculated?
Yeah.
The guy was not
He didn't feel
smiling.
the male energy.
He didn't feel the
Abi.
male energy. Go on.
He usually spoke out against the government, obviously. At some point, Bobby invested in real estate and he formed a crew called Ghetto Republic of Uganda.
Uganda.
Uganda, yeah. His crew formed this pseudo government in the slums where they provided social services. I mean, this guy, he won humanitarian awards. Like, the guy was a model citizen. He even won an award for like Father of the Year or something like that, because he was very, very, very attentive to his kids. Like, he would take time out of his career, made sure his kids were in the spotlight, they weren't spoiled. Model citizen, they loved him. Like, he actually provided opportunities for people in the slums. He gave back. They even used to have like cabinet meetings. It was almost like they had to have their own pseudo government to like help people. They used to have their own little cabinet meetings. Eventually he was nicknamed the ghetto president. Random fact, in 2014, one of his shows got canceled due to some homophobic lyrics. So, you know, he did have some lyrics that kind of spoke out against homosexuals. In 2016, right, there was an election, and Bobby had called for tolerance of different views. In fact, he even defended some of his own biggest critics and some of his like artistic rivals, and he said no, they should be allowed to express their views. Again, this guy was a man of the people. They loved him. When that happened, the U.S. ambassador kind of caught wind of this guy. Like, who is this guy that everyone keeps talking about? And you know, once you're in the eyes of the U.S. like this, that's it. It's like it's almost like you're protected. They're looking, okay, we like this guy, kind of thing. Now, during the election, right? I don't know if you guys remember. That was when Museveni shut down all of social media in Uganda. Of course, Bobby spoke out against it. Now, this was 2017 or so. Eventually, Museveni won the election. No, actually, it was 2016. He won the election. And right after, Bobby decided to pursue a law degree.
Wow.
Yeah. And right after that, he decided to run for office. Member of parliament. This guy is young, though. He's only 36.
Okay.
He won handily. 78% of the votes.
Wow.
Not only that, everyone he supported won. Pretty much, they started encroaching. You know how they have parties, right? His party started making inroads in parliament. Like, it was a pretty big deal. 80% of Ugandans are under 35.
Wow. It's a young country.
Very young country. And there's like 83% unemployment.
Wow.
So you already know, like,
everyone's upset. Like,
everyone
hungry.
is fucking pissed. And, you know, they realized that this Bobby guy, he's a threat. Like, anyone he campaigned on behalf of won handily. In 2017, Parliament proposed a law to strike down this presidential age limit, 75. They had an age limit. Anyone that's 75 years old can run for president. You know how old Museveni is?
75.
74. 74. So he proposed a law to get rid of it, of that age limit.
Did it pass?
Because this was a huge deal. People were pissed. People were rioting. There was a debate in the Ugandan House of Parliament. Bobby was front and center stage of that debate. Of course, he argued against it. At some point, a brawl broke out in Parliament. There's videos like
people whooping asses.
They were like throwing chairs.
Whoa!
I mean, this guy was trying to remove this age limit, something that they already agreed, and he's son, you're 74. Yeah, you're trying to come on now. It got so bad that the week right after that whole debate, his Bobby Wine's house got attacked with explosives.
Oh wow!
Luckily, no one died.
Okay.
He started receiving death threats. Apparently, they shut up his car. They killed his driver at one point. He never stopped fighting. He doubled down. He released a single. He called, I think it was. I don't remember the name. I don't have the name of the single here. But basically, in the single, he was just fighting for freedom, pretty much speaking out against the government. A few weeks later, the age limit bill got passed. So they got rid of it, essentially. Not long after, right, there were some other campaigns in the country. And there was one, at one point, Museveni and Bobby. Like, Bobby his profile has risen so much that he's almost on the same level as the government in some people's eyes. He's the same level as the president in some people's eyes. And they were campaigning in the same city, right? Mut4y, who everyone hates, was going through this crowd, and there might have been some supporters of Bobby Wine, and they stoned his motorcade.
Oh, wow.
Things escalated very quickly. That was when Bobby got arrested. That was when they ended up shooting his driver. Not only did he get arrested, they arrested others, like 32 others, along with him. I mean, you already know where this is going down, what path this is going down. He got tortured. It was really, really bad.
Damn.
He got tortured. But of course, the international community they were already aware of this guy.
So they were looking out.
They couldn't, they
Kill
were looking
him.
out. They were like, there was international pressure. Like, you need to release this guy. There were riots in the streets. Eventually, he got released. The charges got dropped. A lot of that had to do with a lot of the international pressure and the pressure within the country. He actually spent weeks in the U.S. recovering
Oh, wow.
from his injuries sustained as a prisoner. But that's the story of Bobby Wine, man. He's back. He's back in the country now. He's still an MP. But he's like the next. Like,
President,
everyone's
you
looking
think
out for
so?
him.
But if this dude, the president, what's his name?
Mut4y.
He's gonna die on the throne, basically. So,
Well, there's going to be
Bobby-
another election,
oh,
and Mut4y is going to be able to run.
right.
Obviously,
But he might win.
he might. But
Well,
see,
not
there-
legitimately, but
But
if it's
all
like
eyes,
a Nigeria
all eyes are
election,
on them right now. All eyes are on them right now. But that's the story of Bobby Wine. Recently, Kanye went and visited. And you see, this is why sometimes these artists just go and they just go supporting whoever they like. You know, it can be a backlash. Bobby Wine was pissed. He was like, you shouldn't have gone to meet this guy. Like, this is the guy, same guy that has been oppressing us. So that
because Kanye does not read. I'm sure he doesn't know anything that's going on in the country. He was clueless. He just went, oh, president, okay, talk to him.
Did
He
you
doesn't know
guys
the
see the clip?
implication of it.
where the guy was like, oh, so is this like a soccer shoe or something?
I know Afrobeat is gonna be all over Kanye's album. But I'm interested to see how Kanye does it.
Did you see that video where he was dancing immediately?
Yeah.
To
What I think he's gonna do is he's gonna get producers to make Afro beats. Then he's gonna tear it apart and then take some.
And then take off.
So and then do a nice fusion of it, and then maybe feature either Burner or Wiz on.
A word? Wait,
He
they're
said
gonna
it.
be on Yandi?
When did he say it?
Wizkid is gonna be on Yandi?
Yeah, he said Pato Rankin, huh? He just, yeah.
Said he was gonna be on there, and somebody else.
Burner Boy.
No, not Burna Boy. It was somebody else. I can't remember.
When did he say that?
Davido?
I'm about to look it up.
Davido?
Huh. Interesting.
But anyway, that's
But
the
then
story.
I also want to see him do a Ye remix
Nah, that'll be nice.
because it's just his name,
Yeah.
you know. So
But that is our heroes and villains for this episode.
Not
What
bad.
do you guys think about Bobby?
So,
man, like
He's
so
Bobby.
far, so
loved,
good.
man. He's loved right now, man. And
Hopefully, he can
isn't he
do
like your age mate?
right. Abil, hopefully,
See
he
what
can
he's
do.
doing. Yeah.
I'm at
talking
least
about
10 years younger than
Nigga, please. Nigga, please.
Oh gosh! Hopefully, when he gets to be president, he doesn't now change because they all do that. They all
all
are this revolutionary. Oh, blah
They
blah
all
blah
do.
blah.
They all
and then
do.
they come on board and they switch and become
and they
worse
switch up.
than
They
what they were
switch up.
fighting for in
They
the first
always
place.
switch up.
So we shall see. The world is watching, I guess.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, right now I got my eyes on Bobby Wine, man. And you know, a lot of the international community, they got their eyes on him. But outside of that, what other topics do we have? I think we've exhausted most of it.
I was going to talk about the Saudi Arabia crap.
The
that's
Khashoggi,
going on.
I already know
right?
too much about that right now.
It's crazy, man. I've been following it from the beginning when his fiance called the friends and like saw him go in and then come out, and these niggas were saying, "Oh no, he walked out. You just missed him." What? These people like, come on.
crazy. It's
I'm
crazy.
like, jeez,
Well,
what kind of bold face?
Yeah, but ending.
Bold face lie are these people saying? And then they're trying to say, oh no, he got in a fight. Or, there was so many lies. They couldn't
They
even get
chopped
their
him up,
stories.
didn't they?
Yes.
They brought a bone crusher.
So no.
to
Let me
interrogate
tell
him.
you. So these people came from Saudi, 2 jets. When they got off the plane, they had suitcases. Yes, they had suitcases. They even brought a forensic pathologist that knows about anatomy to cut up people. They brought him with them. So they went. The suitcases weren't enough because they figured they went to the markets and bought more suitcases. All on camera, by the way. These people, that's how it shows they give no fucks.
Premeditated.
Basically. They gave no fucks. So they went, bought suitcases, went in. As soon as they entered is when they just pounced on him and started cut us with fingers first.
I don't think they wasted time.
They didn't waste time. The guy that he went to meet was like, I'm minding my business, and looked away. Didn't and anything to it.
They showed one of the men. He looked black.
So now, yeah.
You
He's
saw
not black. You know, they're
Yeah.
whatever. So
But he looked mean, though.
That's what my dad
He
was
looked
like. Wow, he looks black. So they cut him up, put him in suitcases. While they were cutting him up, the forensic dude said, "You know what makes this easier? Put headphones on and listen to music." How savage is that?
You ever seen
Like,
that in the movies? All the
right?
fellas that they take
Like,
to-
it's
all
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so they cut him up, put him in suitcases, and took him back home. And then they try and lie and say, "Oh no, he walked
They
out."
got caught now. They got caught.
Of course, they didn't expect.
So what do you think we should do as an international community?
Well, I think they should be sanctioned, but they won't because they're Saudi Arabia. They're the money
heard,
people.
A lot of
Trump
You
money.
don't even heard what Trump said exactly.
They said their reasoning
Trump
seems credible.
Trump needs no. See, that right there was unacceptable.
Like,
Even if we don't do anything, we can't just.
money talks, dude.
You know,
money talks.
Yeah,
the arms
but
deal
I feel
that
like
they're
you
about
need
to.
the least that he can do is at least speak truth to power.
He's not gonna say anything, really.
That
Corey.
I found cowardly
The
of him.
Turkey actually has been bugging their consulate this whole time, so they had everything on tape. Yes, you didn't hear that? That's how they knew everything was going on. And then initially they tried online and say, "Oh, he was wearing an Apple Watch, and that's the one that recorded the whole thing." That's not what happened. They were recording them in there.
Wow.
They had probably spies or whatever. We don't know, but they sure recorded the whole thing.
That's another level of international.
Right. So Erdogan knew
diplomacy
about the whole thing. Well, recording They recorded it, and now they know what happened in there.
Wow.
And then Trump was like, "Oh, there possibly could be a recording, possibly not." Really?
Yeah, that's not.
Like,
I think he needs to take a stronger stance.
he
I'm not
won't.
saying he needs to like dismantle everything
He
that
won't,
they got
Corey,
going on. But
because
I feel
they're about to buy what $300 billion weapons and stuff. They're not going to. Trump is going to look the other way.
There's too much
Money
money
talks,
behind
Money
that.
talks, and it's Saudi Arabia oil. They've been
Yes,
getting
no.
like. But what cuts me up, like,
Oil and Bugattis.
what blows my mind is the audacity, like the way they even carried it out. They gave no care in the world.
zero fucks.
Well,
Everybody,
'cause
all the
they know
countries
now.
kill people. Russia does, North Korea does, but they
America
don't-
does too.
They all do, but
America
they don't
does,
rub our
yeah.
faces in it like this. Like, this was just too blatant. Like, come on. At least be sophisticated about it and get poisoned like Russia
but
does
they
or
know
something.
nothing's gonna
Trump should
Like,
speak. He
he
should have
won't.
sterner words for himself.
Right?
That's
Okay.
credible.
Be
And you
be
see,
expecting
and that,
that.
you know, that's why I'm
it's
consistent.
credible.
I criticize when there's criticism due, and when he does something right, I also have to point it
Like,
out.
I imagine them telling him, it's like, makes sense. It makes sense.
Come on, cut him up good.
Trump won't say a word. Money talks. They're about to buy. He said it now that the arms deal that's
did
about
you
to happen. $300 billion
The first
or
time they
even
asked him
more,
about
right?
it, did you see? The first time I asked about it, I was like, wait, he's not a citizen, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
make
come
sure.
on,
this guy
you killed a
is
whole
so-
journalist though. They didn't think it was gonna. They thought it was just a random. But they knew he was a journalist.
They
I
were
did
trying
not
to prove
think.
a point now. They were probably trying
Well,
to prove
that
a point.
too.
Some people
the
also
young
argue
prince
that
is the prince.
the
That's
young.
why. Yeah,
So this
he's
young
trying to
priest,
prove his
man.
brutality and everything. He doesn't give a crap. Right
Yeah.
now.
So that I
And-
think that's another factor.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. But he made his mark, and then they have their scapegoat already. They try to say, "Oh, the guy that was interrogating him went rogue." Really? But anyway, this whole thing is just
Well,
crazy.
let's close out.
All right, man. So Wale, you gonna close us out?
Yeah, for the closing song, I went with South Africa. I went to South Africa for that.
Okay, who?
You know, because Corey has some fun memories of South Africa. If you guys remember, it's by AKA. AKA as he just dropped a new project. I think he fell off a little while when he
Yeah,
was always
for a little
fighting with
bit.
Casper. They had a back and forth, but I think he's kind of back. I always liked this. Right? I always thought it was like the one artist that could give us like
He
a
had a
West
big
Coast.
2017 though.
It had like, I think it was like, he could give us like a West Coast type music, you know, and stuff like that. So the song is featuring Kiddominant, who's a producer.
Oh, okay.
And he makes like his, I don't know if this is premiere, but as a singer, but he's on it. He didn't really sing actually, just like said some things on it. But the song is called Fela and Versace
Okay.
by AKA.
All right.
Sona.